Hello and welcome to Adventurers Wanted, in this case the Apprentices Gala, part of Untold Tales. Thank you for joining us tonight for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Chloe and I will be your Dungeon Master for this evening. We are thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/D&D and twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted. Now, for anyone who is new to D&D and has stumbled upon the official D&D Twitch channel, etc., everyone around me, to my left and right, is playing fantasy characters in a fantasy universe. They are all playing individual characters with their own individual sheets that tell them kind of what they're good at, what they're bad at, their unique skills. And then 9 times out of 10, they'll be rolling a 20-sided dice that kind of looks a little bit like this, except, not so fuzzy. And they add a number from their sheet to that dice roll to see if they are gloriously successful or painfully bad at doing things. 20s are good, 1s are bad, everything else somewhere on that kind of scale. And whilst they play their characters, I will play everything else there is in the world. And between me describing the world and the players describing or role-playing what their characters do, and some dice rolls to keep things unpredictable, we will tell a story together. So in terms of practicals, the stream will run for around 3 hours. There'll be roughly a 5 to 10 minute break somewhere in the middle. We are delighted to be sponsored by D&D Beyond, who are the official digital toolset for Dungeons & Dragons. They offer a compendium of all the game's rules, lore, the source books, adventures, digital tools like character builders, encounter builders, things like that. They've got digital character sheets, which everyone is currently using. And if you go this over that side, there are some little pictures which if you click on the overlay, you can see the sheets that everyone is using. They also now have Digital Dice Alpha, where you can roll 3D dice with just a click. It's available if you've got a Master or Hero Tier subscription, and you can sign up for that if that sounds like something that you want at dndbeyond.link/Adventurers Wanted. We are also delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. Get your tabletop organised with character folios, dice bags and more. They do a huge number of things and are a leading supplier and manufacturer of sports and gaming collectibles. For instance, like Xanathar themed dice bags, incredible heavy metal dice, loads of cool stuff. So check them out at ultrapro.com. Yes, Chris is showing off some of their beautiful metal dice. We also play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans-positive, and we encourage and champion trans players and characters in our games. Myself and the players may, and indeed in this game, are portraying characters that are of a different gender to our own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but we acknowledge it happens, and we have a policy in place for correcting it. If we miss an instance, however, we're totally open to being corrected, so let us know if you think one's been missed. Lastly, you might see people sometimes holding up something that looks like this. So just pieces of paper or cards with paws on them. Or people talking about lines and veils. These are some of the safety tools that we use in our games. If anyone holds up their pause card, we'll take a brief break, check in with everyone, and pick up a few minutes later when everyone's comfortable. And if lines are mentioned, we will stay away from that content. If we draw a veil over something, then we won't describe it in further detail, but it'll still happen in world. I won't go into further detail about those. There'll be a link in the Twitch chat if you're curious about those kind of tools. So this is a standalone one-shot, so there is nothing to kind of recap before this. I think we'll start by getting to know Bard to Verse, the band, who are the party, because this is indeed that, even by D&D proportions, mythical thing, an all-bard party is what we are doing tonight. So everyone, if you could introduce yourself, your pronouns, your character's pronouns. If you could let us know what Bard College they are, because that will also, since you're all bards, that will give us a little bit of the different flavour that you've all got, and just a little bit of colour, so we get to know them briefly before we kick off. Starting with Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris. I use he and they pronouns, and I am playing Hunkurat Honahoof, otherwise known as Hunk. Hunk is a College of Valor bard. Hunk is a Minotaur. And Hunk is a big queer lump of meat. Hunk's huge. The armor is sculpted. Everything about them has gold, and about him, sorry, has gold and bronze theming. Everything's sort of gleaming, probably slightly oiled. It was slightly oiled, and he's the lead singer of the band, and just got back off touring the Giant Circuit, and now ready to play with everyone else.
Hi, I'm Natalie, or Nat is also fine. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Sedanis, who also goes by she, her pronouns. Sedanis is a half-elf, and she's from the College of Whispers. So Sedanis comes from a noble background. She's actually from the Highbridge half-elf family. She is a second-generation half-elf and has... not run away from home in the leaving them behind kind of never to be seen again kind of sense, but in the her family are ridiculous sense, and she doesn't really want anything to do with them. She's like the oldest of Ozzy Osbourne's kids, right? or like the long lost, slightly goth Kardashian sister, who's just like, everyone knows her family and they know that they're ostentatious and preposterous, and she just really wants to knuckle down and focus on music and being a serious musician with her very, very serious band.
What was that surname again?
That was the Highbridge family.
Cool. No reason. Like, no reason.
Not at all.
Hello, folks. My name is Oz, and I go by he, him pronouns. My character's name is Rogue. He's a little bit of a trickster, kind of. He likes to. Well, he takes things that aren't his, and he really likes doing it, and really enjoys doing it. And he's from the College of Glamour, so he can help people out, and he can get where he shouldn't be, and all that, this kind of thing. And that's most of what he is. He's a warforged, so he's made of metal, big leather plates mostly, and some metal on the face and so forth. But he just likes getting where he's not meant to be. And today, he's kind of like the hype man for this group. He's going to be the person who's trying to big up everyone on stage, telling everybody how great Bartivers are.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing the wonderful Quintinius Porridgepot, who uses he, him pronouns. Quintinius is a halfling and was very, very big in the folk hero legend world decades ago. And now would just really like to quietly enjoy his retirement, as well as being a kick-ass drummer for his new hip band full of young people.
And what Bard College is Quint?
Of course. Sorry, Quint is from the College of Law.
Cool. And did we get the college that Sedanis is part of?
Yeah, she's College of Whispers. I realised I didn't say as well. She's usually the one kind of off the side playing her viol, supporting the melody and that kind of thing, looking mysterious in the background.
Nice.
And I'm not sure if I said it, but Rogue, the bard, uses he, him pronouns.
Cool, thank you. And I'm Chloe, and I use she, her pronouns, but during the adventure I'll be playing various characters with various different pronouns. Though I will not be playing a bard. That is the one thing I won't be playing.
Not even one. Just a little one.
They can join our band.
Yeah. Yes, it's an important part of the plot.
Well, we'll see. I don't want to fully rule anything out, but it's highly unlikely I'm throwing more bards into this. Anyway, so we meet Bartivers at a small but very fancy tavern called Brew Strike that is incredibly, like, it's a little bit hipster, but it is opposite Silver Keep Hall, which is where the annual Apprentices Gala is going to be held. And now this isn't normally the kind of thing you'd attend, but your mutual friend Riveria, who you've known for a considerable amount of time, who is an apprentice wizard, she invited you to the Apprentices Gala because this is the time of year when a huge legion of wizards are brought together And one of the parts of the gala is that apprentices get to present their own unique spells. So they're hoping to become the next Bigby, the next Ocelot, the next Tensor, etc., with their various different spells. And Riveria delightfully was selected as one of the individuals to present at the gala, and has arranged with you all you can be her guests for the event, and said she'd meet you outside, she'd meet you at Brew Strike, since it's pretty much directly opposite the hall, which is currently bustling with mainly wizards. You all stick out a little bit, partially for different reasons. Some of you, there's no other Warforged, there's no other Minotaurs, but also there's a lot of wizards who everyone kind of slightly plays up to the image of being a wizard at these things. People are trying to be more wizard than the next wizard, etc. And it's quite densely packed in here. And as you enter into Brew Strike, make me perception rolls for trying to find Riveria in the midst of all this.
Am I allowed to use the D&D Beyond internal dice roller?
Absolutely, you may. Go for it.
That didn't help. I got a 7.
Damn you, D&D dice roller!
11.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 4.
Wow. Didn't think I was going to be nice than 11.
I think with all the tall, pointy hats, it's just hard to see anything.
However, as a halfling, being much further down than all of you, I got 19.
And I think the reason that it's Quintinius who gets that high of a roll is because actually, Riveria, you see this mascara streaked face sat underneath a table with like this big kind of frizz of ginger hair falling to her waist, and she's just underneath there absolutely in tears. But no, people aren't really spotting her because they're all stood up and there's very few halflings in here.
Ooh, good. I see a young lady friend, and I think there might be a problem.
What? Slightly sort of shoulder up and just, what's going on? And sort of looking around, seeing if there's anyone that needs dealing with.
She seems to be
under the table with you.
distressed.
Oh.
Are you heading like towards the table or under the table? Cool.
That's what she is, yeah.
Sweet. Hunk, you won't notice anyone like to be dealt with in the immediate vicinity. There doesn't even seem to be anyone like interacting with her. And so as Sedanis and Quintinius kind of slink under the table, you just Yes, Chris?
I'm presuming I wouldn't fit under the table.
No. You can probably hear this. This sound that's coming from there. But if you're to understand what Riveria is saying, like, she'll need to be calmed down or helped out in some way, because right now she is just a mess. And definitely not what you're expecting on what was going to be like the best day of her career.
I'm going to the bar and I'm getting 5 drinks.
Okay.
Sedanis is going to reach out and put her hand on Riveria's shoulder and just kind of look at her in a warm but concerned way.
Can you roll? I don't know. It depends how you want to do it. You could do like performance for like projecting warmth and concern.
Friend, I care.
Can I?
Well, I mean, I have calm emotions, but I have calm emotions, but I feel like busting out a second level spell already is too soon.
No,
Can we get an example of the facial expression for what you're trying to do? It's like those
that is it.
opposite things. Oh wow!
Can you roll me performance?
Sure. That is a 10.
I think, this is going to seem really cold, but because that's what Riveria is getting from you, just shifts looking to Quintinius and throws her arms around Quintinius for a hug.
I should point out as well that wasn't that one.
Oh, it was a nat one.
Where was it gone? Yeah.
Oh, okay. And like, imagine me saying exactly what I just said, but not saying that it was cold. Just arms around Quintinius.
Little one.
I'm so glad to see you. I need your help.
Oh, listen, mate. Just calm down. Look, it's all gonna be okay. We're all here. You're going to be fine. You're going to do everything fine. There's no problem. You just need to.
But I can't even cast spells because he put a bracelet. He gave me a bracelet.
But it just means maybe he likes you. If he gave you a jewelry, it's going to be alright.
Riveria starts to like kind of gingerly come out from under the table, and there's a couple of stools nearby that you can grab. And
There's
she
a
starts
clunk
just kind
on
of
the
like.
table as I put down a tray. It's got 5 whiskies on it.
Does it have 5 whiskies on it?
I'd like it to have 5 whiskies on it, Chloe.
Okay. Could you please roll me just a straight charisma check?
Oh, are you sure that's what you want?
Yeah, that's what makes most sense here.
22.
Cool. I don't know how, but you managed to go right to the front of a really busy bar, order
I can
5
tell you
drinks,
how.
and everyone's still kind of on your side, and you haven't turned the whole bar against you for it.
I am a massive, gentle giant. I just moved down and went, excuse me, coming through. Someone's in peril. And immediately everyone just parted.
So you come, you put drinks down, and Rivera kind of like gratefully takes one and starts like calming down and just, I'm sorry, you've come so far, you've come such a long way for me, and it's all gone wrong.
Listen, you're like you're like our friend, and we're just sorry to see you so sad. Like, tell us what's going on.
Well, like, you know, I was meant to present my spells today, my versatile foot, right? And I was meant to do it in front of everyone because it's really hard being an emerging wizard, and you only get so many chances before you're no longer emerging, like you're emerged and no one wants to hear from you anymore, etc.
Too close. Stop. Too close.
It's actually and the thing is, like, Kigorami was one of the... I studied with him, and I thought he was my friend, and we were getting on so well, but he didn't get picked for anything. And he gave me this bracelet, like pointing to this kind of very beautiful gold and silver detailed kind of bangle style bracelet with a small glinting gem on her wrist. He gave me this as a like, well done for getting into the gala present, but then I put it on and I can't cast magic anymore, and he stole my scroll, and then I tried to get in earlier, but the guards wouldn't let me in, and I think he gave them money, and he's just gonna say that it's his, and I'm never gonna be the person with the versatile foot. He's gonna be the one with the versatile foot, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
What's his name? What's his name?
Kigorim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Turn towards the rest of the bar, look around. Is he in here?
No, he'll already be at the gala. He'll be like telling people how amazing he is, and getting all these people to like him, and probably getting loads of offers and opportunities and all. But I can't even get in, and like they won't let you in because you're only down as my guests, and I think he's told them just not to let in like anyone that's anything to do with me.
Big meaty arms crossed and thinking faces on.
Sedanus has taken out a little pocketbook and written down Kigorin. Just looks grimly at it. So,
Underline it a few times.
Yeah.
Now, look. We can look into it. I'm sure we're a lovely bunch. We're probably going to be like able to get in somehow. We'll get you in. Let me have a look at that bracelet. Let me have a wee look.
Okay. And just holds out her arm.
I take it there's no sort of lock, or is there any way I can
roll an investigation?
That is a 9.
9. You can see that there's like a hinge that presumably would undo. Even with a 9, you're smart enough to know that she would have tried that herself. It's obviously enchanted so that once it's on, it looks like once it's on you can't take it off. But that's what you get from a 9.
Does it have like a lock or any kind of obvious mechanism to it other than the hinge?
You can. I'll allow one other person to roll investigation if they want at the moment. All you're going to get is that there's like a hinge and the little details I've already mentioned.
I was going to roll athletics to try and break it.
I mean, if you wanna
investigate it, but also I could identify it if that's any use at all.
Do you want me to just reaching massive hand over and want to just
Hunk, won't that break my wrist?
Maybe.
I take it you did all the normal wizardy things because you're the wizard here. I take it you checked to see what it is and also tried to cast knock on it and stuff.
I can't cast spells.
Her casting spells.
All right.
I looked at it and I can't see, but I don't know. It's really been hard to see because I've been crying so much.
Quintilius would like to pull out his enormous monogrammed handkerchief. Wipe her eyes a little, and then ask if I may, and take her hands and cast Identify on the bracelet.
Okay, what does it look like with Quintinius casting Identify?
So, Quint has a very large leather-bound tome which has embossed in gilt on the cover, My Adventures! And then it's got loads of turned-down pages and bookmarks and things, and he'll flip through going, I identify. Yes! When I had to identify the enchantment on the chains holding that prisoner, and goes yes, and starts muttering his own memoirs to himself, which the ink glows a faint blue, and the bracelet glows an echoing faint blue, and he goes yes, and will mutter to himself. And I go, aha!
And with that, aha! What you get is that this is obviously like a magical item. It seems to be using some form of, it's not as strong as like a full-on anti-magic spell. It seems to just be kind of suppressing magic of lower levels, but then Reveria is an apprentice, and as far as you know, in a kind of like in world, you would have an awareness of around the same level of casting that you can currently do, so 3rd level. With that, what you get is also like, it doesn't require any kind of attunement. It's not something that has charges. It's just something that stays operational. I'm going to say with Identify, what you get is also the fact that it can be like turned off. It can be deactivated, but it requires a phrase or a word, which is something that only the person who like purchased it or the person who made it got. But I'm also going to say that with like the Identify, you kind of, because you're focusing so much on this item, you notice just like it's because there's this gilt patterning all over it, but because you're focusing in on it so much, you realize that what looks like kind of decorative stuff is actually the name Evizar, and it just says Evizar's jewels around the edge, but to the casual eye it just looks like it's got gilt patterning.
Does Quintinius know whether or not it could be potentially opened with knock?
It could not be opened with knock. You do get the sense that it could potentially be destroyed by magic, but it would need something higher level.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like a 3rd level spell slot wouldn't, like something that does a lot of damage wouldn't destroy it.
You'd need something to do more damage than definitely any of you are capable of. I mean, you are aware, obviously, that like across the road there is a massive gathering of wizards, and such like. But yes, that's kind of what you get with Identify.
Now, Quintinius, what is it?
So, as far as I can see, we have 2 options. This nasty little bangle is stopping our young lady friend here from casting all her wonderful magic. So, either we can march across the road and ask a nice, high-ranking wizard to destroy it for us. It's beyond our realms of capability, I think. Or I think I know which one I prefer. We could go and pay a visit on this young chap, Kigorin, and politely, charmingly, and in a friendly sort of manner ask him to say the passcode, the passphrase that would release our friend here.
I like the second option, just without the charming. And sort of like shoulders flex out a little bit, and there's a definite like, not happy.
Sedanis adjusts a glove.
Oh dear.
I'm down with whatever. I mean, if there's a chance to, like, we were looking forward to this getting into this gala thing. So if there's a chance to make it more challenging, I'm down for that. I'm excited. Like, we'll get you in, certainly. Like, you deserve to be in there because you're the wizardy type, and that's the wizardy type thing.
Yeah. If you do get me in, like, I can't disguise. I don't have like magical disguises or anything. Like, if any of the guards see me in there, they'll probably just kick me out. So if we go straight up to Gigoran, we'll just need to be. I don't know if you can make him like forget things or not notice me. But just remember, and like he might have one of. I think he's got my spell scroll as well, and they don't let us learn our spells because of like all this dumb stuff that the Mages Guild puts in. So I have to find my spell scroll as well if I'm gonna present it.
Well then, you could come with us and we can protect you, or you could stay here and have a nice drink and a nice sit down, and we can come get you when we've fixed everything.
I don't mind. Are you going to be able to get someone to come and like just holds up the bracelet? Will they come and help with this?
Yeah. We'll
Get you a guard of honor.
Okay. I'll wait here for you. I know, like, is there anything I can tell you about the hall? Like, I've been there other times, obviously. I don't know what I can tell you about.
Is there a back door?
There's where, like, the catering people go for events like this, where, like, security and decorators and catering. If you go in the front, they always get you to prove you're a wizard by, like, casting a certain spell, like magical auras or encoding thoughts or something. And yeah, once you're in there, like, they normally have a lot of security at things like this. If you do bard stuff, like, it's pretty much wizards in there, apart from a few guests, so it'll look a bit obvious if you start doing lots of bard stuff. Sometimes there are bards though in the arcane showroom, because that's where everyone's like trying to show off their magical items or like sell stuff on, etc. I don't know where Kigoran will be. I don't know, like, he's probably just like at wherever the fanciest, nicest bit of it is. He's okay. He's an elf, and he has like really nice hair. He has blonde hair, and it's he shouldn't have nice hair, but it's really nice blonde hair. And he's quite tall. And I think for this he was going to wear like this fancy red velvet robe because he really likes how he looks in it.
Is he important to you?
I don't want you to kill him, Hunk.
Okay.
No.
Like, he's completely screwed me over, but I don't want you to go killing people.
Okay. Just checking.
Now, I don't think if killing people is really on the table here, Hunk. I'm more of a, if I need to threaten someone, or if I need to, hurt them a little bit because they hurt our friend, I prefer emotional hurt. We'll start there.
I will not hurt. Well, I'll put it this way: if we can, it sounds more like we should be trying to remove him and bring him here.
Rogue, like, I don't. From what you were saying, I don't know if this is useful, but I know that he's really self-conscious about the size of his nose. He thinks it's too small for his face. I don't know if that can be used.
Sedanis is going to cast a minor illusion kind of cantrip to kind of project a little image of like a tall elf with long blonde hair.
The police sketch.
It's a bit shaky, yeah, like a little police sketch kind of image. With a ridiculously tiny nose. And kind of tilting me like, this small.
That is a very small nose.
His nose is like a little bit bigger than that. Like it's a bit smaller than you'd expect, but a lot of it's actually just all in his head. And the hair's kind of nicer. It's like floofier. It's got more volume.
Quint is turning to a blank page in the back of his book and scribbling down like tiny nose, stupid toes, doesn't smell as nice as a rose. Keep working. I feel like what we should be aiming for is a little bit of public humiliation. We want him to have to openly and publicly apologise, admit what he did, and then be thrown out on his ear in front of everyone he respects. That's the game plan here, right?
Sounds good to me. If we're trying to sneak our way into this establishment, it might be worth pointing out I'm probably not the sneakiest. I may be better at causing a distraction.
You're all better at this kind of stuff than me. As long as you figure out what to do with this and like find at least. I think they keep extra scrolls like for selling after the presentations in a storeroom somewhere, so either the one that Kigorim's got or those ones, but I'd need those before you sneak me in.
Now, Riveria, on your scroll that you made, is there like any sort of, way that because I've had some trouble with this kind of thing before, not this specific thing, but, people knowing who something is. Did you write your name on your scroll? Or anything like that? Is there a wizard mark?
It says at the top Riveria's versatile foot, because they're all like, the whole point is they're like our name ones. Like right. Bob's got his dull sphere and Zariel's got his jug thing, so.
Well, I think that's maybe a good place to start when pointing out that this person's stealing scrolls rather than making his own.
Oh. I mean, it's not his name.
If your name is right on it at the top there, then they're going to notice.
I think the one that he's got of mine, like, he'll have my one, which I wrote Riveria on, but if he's told them that it's his, then all the other ones they'll say Kigorim's. You have to submit them anonymously to eliminate bias. I'm sorry that I've made like this old-time friend of yours like the biggest drip in the entire world.
I just like that your fantasy wizard university has a remarkable number of overlaps with real-world universities in terms of arcaneness to deal with nonsense.
Yeah. You hear a bell toll outside, saying that it's like 4 o'clock. Because the real events of the gala happen when it starts to go into evening, and Riveria hearing this, they'll start doing the presentations in like an hour and a half.
Okay.
You should probably go.
Did you say there was a sort of marketplace for other magic users?
Yeah, in the arcane showroom, that's where like they have stalls, and sometimes they have like these little display faces where people are showing off other types of spells and like magical items and stuff. And then there's like they'll have the dining area, and everyone like networks in the atrium and stuff.
Okay.
That sounds a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Best of luck. I don't know if there's anything more I can tell you.
I think as we're finishing up the little minor illusion of Kigorin, his mouth starts to close over, so he can't speak, and he's kind of flapping, and then his robes kind of flip over, so his bum is visible, and he falls over in a stupid way. So it's a bit dark, and then goes silly to try and make her laugh, and then disappears.
I guess, but I can't emphasize enough. I don't think anyone should get killed.
Why is he not wearing like underwear?
Wizards, mate. It's all weird. They like don't ask.
Okay.
Do not ask about how their toilets work. You just don't want to know.
She didn't specify his underwear, so I couldn't conjure it.
Ah.
I love that your level of imagination like stops there. Like you can do it, but like if you don't describe it, I can't come up with an idea for underwear. So, are you heading out of Brew Strike?
Yeah. I was muttering to Rogue. It's worth remembering that if they're going commando, that might be a good way of causing a ruckus.
As we're about to leave, like I get up, and because I'm a warforged, I don't need to eat or drink, so my full thing of whiskey is still there, and I just slide it across to Reveria.
Can we canonically say that I always buy you a drink and I've never noticed?
That's fine, yeah.
Nice. As you...
I would decanted it into yours, probably. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't notice. It's a thimble to me, I mean, I wouldn't notice.
As you head out of Brew Strike, you head out onto the cobbled street, and there's kind of a nice, like, summery level of sunshine outside and kind of dappled shade from nearby trees. In front of you is Silverkeep Hall, which is an absolutely beautiful kind of almost medieval style construction. And whilst it's called Silverkeep Hall, it is various different buildings and such, like, all linked to each other, kind of chapel shapes and such, like. And
are they also not silver? Are they also not silver?
It's not made of silver.
There's no, like, silver coloration throughout the whole thing?
I'm going to say that, like, if you were to go closer to the kind of double doors that are currently open but have door people standing aside, there is just above the door a small inlaid silver coin, which gives its name to Silverkeep because it is where originally the riches of a very ancient mage were said to be laid to rest with their body, but there are a few kind of remaining pieces, and one of them is above, so that's why it's called Silverkeep Hall.
I was going to make a crack about neither silver nor keep, but if that's not the case, then I will leave it.
No, that is some lore that I totally planned and wrote in advance, so yeah. And you can see like a small queue, but it's flowing quite freely up some steps and inside, but you can also see one massive tower that doesn't really suit, that's kind of in the middle of the street, and also as people go up to the door you see these kind of weird ribbons of magic emerging, and then this next person is kind of glowing, etc. as they go in. You can see that kind of off to the left hand side, because it's quite broad as well, it's more like a hall with grounds rather than just a single building. There does seem to be a little bit of foot traffic past the iron wrought fencing and such, like off to one side, where you see a couple of people kind of carrying platters of food or wheeling different carts of wares and such like in. Would you like to go through the front or around the side? Those are kind of seemingly the only options.
Are the people who are doing the catering, do they have uniforms?
What you notice is that they're all wearing their own clothes, but they all have aprons that mark themselves out as part of different groups that are catering.
Now, folks, I'm obviously a bit different to everybody else. Plonk, plonk, plonk. What I should probably do is make myself look a bit like everyone else. So I'm going to look over the crowd for kind of the fashion of the time. I mean, big robes, pointy hats, or
like,
things like that.
I'm going to say what you've got is like a very, very long sleeves, an abnormal amount of fringe. Fringe seems very popular, like so, like the sleeve, like you've got a long sleeve and then you've got fringe along the arm.
Okay, I thought you meant hairstyles.
Yeah, so
I mean like fringe, and sometimes that's like beaded with like silver and beautiful gems and such like. A lot of it is long robes. There's a couple of people who aren't following that kind of trend and have gone more like frills and layers, but it's obviously like very dressy. It's very like make an effort, and there is a variety of hats as well.
University. This is like a Dolly Parton university, like all fringe and frills.
It does seem that the theme or the idea this year is like everyone's gone very much over the top. Though there are a couple of things where you can't tell like is this something that's just like, you look at someone, you're like, is that a fascinator? Oh no, it's just an ironstone just going around their head. Like, occasionally it's hard to kind of like see what is being worn for this occasion and what is just someone's style.
Okay, so I need to look the part myself, and I've got the option of caterer or wizard. I've got to be honest, I know which one I'm going to pick. So I'm gonna take out my pocket a little like roll of leather and unroll it, and inside are all different thieves' tools, basically. But you can see on them are all different runes. I'm gonna take one out and touch it to my tongue and flip it through the air, like drawing in the air this picture of a person, and they have long flowing robes with a constellation pattern on them. They have fringes on all the things, and they have a long fringe in their hair as well. And they have a big pointy hat, and on the hat is a boat. And I'm not talking like a picture of a boat. I'm talking like on the front of it is a fair-sized boat.
A fair-sized boat.
Like with sails and little people in it. And then I'm gonna take that picture, like I'll grab it in the air and throw it towards myself, and I disguise self as this
amazing
ostentatious wizard.
Are you still like a warforged wizard?
No, actually, yeah. Let's go with a warforged wizard.
Okay.
At least I look the part.
Cool. What is everyone else? Is anyone else like doing disguises? Like, it's obvious what Rogue's plan is now in terms of through the front door.
Would you like me to create a distraction?
Well, I was wondering if we could just, talk our way in, given that there is a bazaar where bards are going to demonstrate things, and we have now our wizard patron.
Yes.
Do they have any entertainment for tonight? Perhaps we could make an offer.
Okay, if you need, I could probably do the cloud thing where everyone feels awful and they can't see. Could block the door.
I do like that one. Oh, shall we start with try to pretend like we belong, and if that fails, we go for the...
Yeah. So, are there like invites or anything like that? Or do we just go up and say, hello, we're wizards?
You can see that like some people seem to be presenting little cards, but some people aren't. But everyone is having to talk to one of the door people that is currently there, and there are a couple of guards as well just past them.
If we're doing this, let's have a symbol. Let's have a signal for the cloud of horrible smell.
Smell.
If you say the word smell, I cast the spell that makes the big cloud where you can't see.
Yeah, it's a word you can fit in anywhere, but we're not really going to use it.
Okay.
I mean, the other option is something weird like pineapple.
Yeah, that's good too. Whatever you need.
I'd rather lean to something a bit more obscure. What if we walk in and it smells, and we must comment upon that?
That's right, it might happen.
But what if we walk in and there are pineapples everywhere?
Okay, so then we can...
That's a good point.
Something we can fit in everywhere. How about if we, because there's wizards around, how about specifically the word abracadabra?
It seems like that would come up a lot in a wizarding college.
Yeah, but we don't need to say it.
You are
pretending
to be a wizard.
I have other like spelly things I can do. I've got a whole repertoire. This isn't my first time pretending to be a wizard to go into a gala. That's all I'm saying.
Could you all please roll me stealth? Because I know you're not necessarily shouting about this, but I did say that you'd gone out into the street opposite Silverkeep Hall, and you've now been chatting for quite a bit about what your code words should be, the fact you're not wizards, etc. So if everyone could just roll me stealth, just to see how this appears to everyone else at the event.
14.
7.
21.
Dirty 20.
Okay, gonna check. Okay, that's just for me to know for now. I just need to know that. You do get, there are a couple of people who are giving you like weird looks, but you can't tell whether that's because they're judging your fashion choices or the fact that like it's unusual to see a Warforged wizard or a Minotaur at these kind of events, or whether it's like because of the conversations you're having. There's also like someone who's having a cigarette break like outside of the pub, who's just like there's this halfling who's just kind of looking at you really oddly while they just have a smoke. What would you like to do?
Can I just double check? I know you did say before, but I did not write it down, which is a major fault of mine. How many guards were there on the door people? What was
Two door people and two guards.
Okay.
One like to either side of the entranceway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't particularly want to, but I could just walk up and pull the "Don't you know who I am" card.
That's my line. That sounds like a wonderful plan.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Well, should we try and walk up with our eminent wizard, and then, if there's any question of the eminent wizard not being let in, Sedanis can pull the "Do you know who I am" card, and if that doesn't work, Quint can pull the "Do you know who I am" card, and if necessary, I can obscure everyone with bad smelling. God damn it.
So close.
So close.
I think that is a wonderful plan, but I would miss out my third step. I don't think my legendary exploits would be particularly well received here.
Do you spend
Don't put yourself down, Quintinius. You are a legend.
I've got an idea. Quintius, right? I know this might hurt a little bit, but how about I'm the one dressed as a wizard. How about I go up and you ask, don't they know who I am? But use your own exploits to explain who I am, because your exploits are so like big and great that
talk the talk, Quinn.
I am very convinced.
And I will look regal.
And if Sedanis looks regal next to you, then
Yes.
What do I not look regal?
And I'm always intimidating.
Sedanis, how about us two go up? Quintinus has got the story. We go. And Unk, you're the guard. You're my bodyguard.
Yeah, what's new?
Are you approaching the door?
Yes. Action. Yes.
So who's approaching first? Okay. As you approach, one of the door people is currently busy, but there is someone who is glowing, basically, but literally has a bit of a glow to herself, as she is an Azamar, and there's kind of brown hair that almost has like a slightly copper sheen to it because of the light that is emanating from her, who's dressed a little bit more formally, more just like all in black, but still with a little bit of the fringe and gownness. Yes, how can I help?
Hello. I am the herald of the mighty wizard Ozymandias, who has come to grace today's ceremonies with his attendants.
Okay, let's just get this straight. You're not. I doubt you're even a wizard. You've all been talking about pineapples and abracadabra for the last 10 minutes, quite loudly, to be honest, in the middle of a street. And so obviously I won't be letting you into this event. And if you try to, I will make sure that security ensures you leave. How about we leave it at that?
Congratulations, you passed the test! We've been having a fierce debate for weeks about whether this little tiny villagey get-together was worth wasting our time proclaiming our wares and selling our music at your bazaar. And I had a bet on with my friends here that you were going to be clever enough to pick up a ruse and you'd be worth our time, and they thought we'd just walk straight in. They owe me 10 gold. Thank you very much.
Roll me deception.
I'm actually going to take out 10 gold.
I was going to say, can we assist
like,
by...
Yeah, if you all assist by like taking out money to be like, oh no, then Rebecca can roll with advantage.
Take out 10 gold, slightly like I believe this, so just hand it over.
That's all my money.
That would be a 28. I'm an expert in deception.
I mean, like, I rolled poorly already, but Jesus, a 28.
Amazing.
To be honest, we like not to be considered small. I mean, this is quite a considerable meeting of mages, to be honest. And, well, yes, slightly offensive of your friends to think that I'd fall for something so obviously a ruse, frankly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm
And, as a halfling, can I tell you I entirely agree with your dislike of the word small as an insult. I am absolute. My name is Quintinius Porridge Pot. You may have heard of me. It is an honour to make your acquaintance.
Hasn't heard of you. You said...
I'm so sorry.
So, you said you were selling music? The traders here are pretty much, I mean, it's the Apprentices Gala. It's rather magic focused. Do you have something magical you're able to show?
Our music is our magic. But also, yes, we have other tricks and exciting little bits of arcane magic, but also weave magic through our music.
Right. Okay. So you'll probably... And starts, like, scribbling down, like, kind of a few notes. Would you say your magic is more utility, illusory, or entertainment-based?
Yes.
We've got a little bit of everything, mate. Oh, we have a little bit of everything.
Is that something that Rogue actually does?
Yes.
Can you please roll deception?
As you can see, we have a little bit of entertainment of personas. That is a 20. Dirty 20.
Okay.
Sedanis just dryly does jazz hands behind him.
My arms are still crossed, just standing behind them, just being the bodyguard.
Right. Tobias, and just like calls back to one of the kind of relatively young looking individuals, a human, like kind of mask presenting, with kind of brunette hair but like back in a top knot. Tobias, could you thank you comes up, could you direct these individuals to whatever slot's free in the arcane showroom? If you could take them there, please, but do make sure that you escort them there. I wouldn't want them to get lost on the way. It's quite busy. It's a bit labyrinthine in there, so though I guess was like pointing at Punk the Minotaur and then realizes maybe that's not an appropriate joke to make.
The expression, everything about Hunk does not change. I don't think Hunk recognizes that he's being spoken to.
Yeah. Tobias, she'll show you the way. Can I just also take just names for each of you? Obviously, we need to make sure we know who's in there and in case of any emergencies.
Well, my name is, of course, the illustrious Ozymandias.
Ozymandias? What's the fancy about it?
Illustrious is my first name. Illustrious Ozymandias.
Illustrious Ozymandias. Okay.
V is the title. Just make sure you get that V.
I'm sure I can remember that.
Thank you.
Porridge.
Quintinius Porridge Pot, the national hero.
Right. And yourselves?
Oh, you, okay, sorry. Just not used to that. Sedanis Highbridge.
Highbridge? I'm just gonna... like, you assume that she is aware of you, but she doesn't actually show it. And yourself.
Hunk.
To the point. Right. If you want to follow Tobias, then she'll sort you out.
As we walk past, take out another gold coin and basically place it in front of her in a big and go, "Sorry for betting against you."
Right. Like, like, doesn't really know what to make of it. Would love it if it was like more of it, but also the fact that you placed it, like, she's very much used to people like coolly slipping something into her hand.
No, I'm
But now
actually
she has,
holding
like,
a gold coin in front of her face.
like, this robe was not meant for like reaching down to the floor in. But managed to pick that up. So.
Oh no, sorry, not on the floor. It's in my hand. I'm literally holding it out in front of her. I'm holding it out in my hand. In front of her.
See. Thanks.
You're more than welcome.
Sorry for the labyrinth comment.
Oh, was that directed at me?
Well, I figured Minotaurs, you probably hear about labyrinths all the time.
Oh, I see. And there's I'll draw performance on this. There's a slightly downcast look. There's an, oh no, I've been judged look on it. Absolutely. Yeah, 17. So, you were all led through by Tovius, quite a short human, and she is constantly keeping an eye on you, like looking back, looking forward, looking back, looking forward, and leads you through. And as you enter in, like, there is the wonderful smell of kind of beautiful food and beautiful drink mixed with flowers and fresh air, because there are a lot of open windows and kind of balcony areas, atriums with skylights, which are basically just openings in the ceiling and such like in here, and you're pulled through all these different areas. There's like a small garden where there's topiaries of wizards from across the ages. There's areas where you can see people getting food, you can see people dancing, people reminiscing, etc. Small kind of rides based around like floating discs and such like, and you are led through into this kind of covered area. But it's like a huge gazebo the size of like a hall, and there are suddenly loads of different stalls, and it's quite overwhelming with the amount of sound, because there's everyone and, you know, their family shouting about their latest invention or the things that they're selling. Feel free, if you want, to kind of roll perception or investigation on anything that you're getting as you're taken to like one of the far corners, like put in quite a dingy, like it's slightly muddy underfoot. It's obviously not one of the best stalls to have, but that's where Tovius is leading you. I'm looking for Grigorin specifically.
I'm
Okay.
going to as well, so can I assist you? Is that
Yeah, if
Hang on.
you're looking
What's
for
your perception?
+1?
Yeah, this is me.
Also, I know there's plenty to go, but we're like an hour in. Y'all are bards. Y'all have bardic inspiration.
We're also all skills monkeys, Chloe. I rolled a 19.
Okay, so that's one can go around. Oz, Natalie, would you also be looking for that, or is there anything else that you'd like to be looking out for?
I was probably going to be keeping an eye out for where all the exits are and where they might lead to, specifically if one of them looks like it might go towards more of a storeroom wing.
Okay, cool. You can roll.
Oh, the storeroom wing.
You can roll like
The famed storeroom wing in any large building.
dedicated to Professor Storeroom, who has such an impact on this community.
Is that going to be perception or investigation?
Whichever you prefer. Oz, is there anything particular you're looking
Yeah,
out
I'm
for?
going to be looking for signs basically that are meant for this thing to get a good hang on
Lay of the
different
land.
lay of land. Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to say that's like more of an investigation. He thinks it's piecing that info together. So, Natty, what do you get?
13.
13. Okay. And Oz?
I got 11.
11. Cool. I'm going to go like in ascending order. Rogue gets a little bit of a sense of the layout. Probably the reason why it's only an 11 is that some of the signs are a little bit confusing. So there are ones, for instance, that are either too vague because it just says atrium, Hall of Wonders, etc., and it doesn't specify what's going to be there. You also pass like some signs that you think are to the toilets, but they're very hipster signs, and you can't really tell because
They have
they
weird
tried to make it
symbols
too
that may or may not.
minimalist.
Yeah.
But you do see.
And I mean, everybody here is a wizard, so everybody's wearing the dress and the robe, and they're identical.
Exactly. And there's also, but you do spot that kind of far away from where you are, there are like some, like those country signs that diverge off to different directions, have a little bit of information on them. Sedanis with was it a 13? Mm-hmm. With 13, you what you don't see is something that's like labelled storeroom, but two edges of this gazebo align with actual brick walls of the construction of Silverkeep Hall, and you do see one where there are two guards standing outside a door, so it looks like it's kind of a slightly off limits area. You don't know exactly what's beyond it, but it is one of the more conspicuously guarded spots, as you're kind of going through all these different aisles and you just spot them off to one side. Was it a 19 for looking for Kigorum? Okay. Unfortunately, you don't spot Kigorum in this area. If he was there, you would have seen him, but I was rolling for...
So he's not here.
Yeah, he is, like, you are really confident that Kigorum is not in this area.
Cool, I'm going to cast a message to everyone individually. Just quietly.
Just before you send that message, however, because it's a 19, what you hear is someone mention the name Kigorum.
Who?
There is a stall that you pass with very ornate writing on it that's very hard to read, and there is a seemingly some kind of salesperson, just like human, who has one of those, you know, those beards that people put into competitions because they are so like layered and structured, and they are kind of wide as well as long. Someone with a beard that sculpted, talking to a halfling, and listing off names, and Kigorum was definitely a name that they said.
In which case I don't message everyone, I just stop at that stand and start perusing it.
Do you, so what's everyone else's passive in terms of noticing? Because also, well, actually, to be honest, Tobias is gonna is constantly sorry, you're just a bit further down.
Oh, I'll join up in a second. I want to see what's on offer. Just looking at the table, what's on offer.
I'll head with Tobias and be like, yes, show me, I'm in charge, don't worry, show me.
Roll persuasion on assuring Tobias that this is okay.
I shouldn't have told a lie, that would have gone much better.
That's the lesson to take away from this. Always lie.
But actually that's a 25, so...
Skills, monkey.
If you say so, and just takes you further along. Sedanis and Rogue, are you also going along? Who are you kind of going with?
I'm going with Tobias.
Tobias, cool.
Tobias.
Yeah, I'm also going with Tobias.
Cool. So, Hunk, what is on offer here? Gems. Lots of gems. Spell components galore.
Excellent. All things I have no use for.
Gems and jewels.
I will pick up one of the gems. Just reach out and pick it up. And in my gigantic mitts, probably about that.
Yeah. The halfling who has like a little black bob haircut. Hello, can I help you?
What's this?
Oh, that's a ruby. They're all components, but they're very high quality.
What kind of spell would I be using for this ruby?
See, I'm not so good with the Evazar, can you help this individual? Because I can't remember. And this individual with the huge beard, they walk over. Absolutely happy to help. Right. So rubies, and Evazar tells you some spells that you would definitely use rubies for, but I do not currently have a list of spells that you would use such types of things for.
Cool. At which point, during that conversation, I'll go, yeah, my friend Kigorum was telling me about one of the spells you mentioned, and I was thinking about learning it.
Well, I mean, Obviously, it's up to you exactly what you are. Are you one of the wizard types too, then?
Oh yeah, I cast magic.
I mean, lots of people cast magic. You're one of the low-level apprentices, aren't you?
What gave it away?
The sentence, I cast magic, I should imagine.
Oh, sorry, people assume I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm big and sound dumb. I put guilt, just throwing guilt in aggressively. Put it down. You've seen Kigoran recently. I don't know where he's got to.
I assume drinking and celebrating.
Would you mind pointing out? I'm still relatively new to all of this. As you so astutely pointed out, I am still only humbly learning.
Can you roll me like a deception or a performance since you're laying on Protofic?
Yes, I can. And it will be performance.
What did you get?
13. 13. I roll.
13. You know what, I'm sure if you're such a good friend of Kigorim's, then you'll be able to find him yourself. And indeed, if you are an apprentice, even those who have the least amount of knowledge should be able to find their way around Silverkeep Hall, don't you think?
Well, if you're gonna be like that, fine. I'm Hunk, by the way. Reach out my massive hand.
Evazar.
Nice to meet you, Evazar. Maybe I'll buy you a drink later. And follow the others.
Cool. Whilst the rest of you've now been like shown to your kind of little area, you are next to someone who is basically selling the D&D equivalent of dream catchers, but they are reverse dream catchers because they cast the dream spells, so they don't like absorb dreams, they like implant dreams, and it's manned by someone who looks like, I don't know, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, etc. You're also opposite someone who's got like a very flashy stall that says disintegrate, except the great at the end means like awesome rather than, so it's like disintegrate. Who is currently trying to grab people who are walking by to tell them about this amazing version of Disintegrate that he's developed. Is there anything you want to investigate or want to ask Tovius whilst you've got like this little bit of time here?
Would Quinn have overheard Evazar give their name?
Roll like perception for as you were walking away, because it's still a few stalls down and it's kind of loud in here.
Darn it, I wish someone could inspire me. It's a 6.
Oh
no, what a shame. If only you had been inspired. You unfortunately don't hear that.
Oh well. And I didn't at the time tell people what I read on the bracelet, so I'm assuming.
no.
Yeah, that's not yet quite
What a fun connection that would have been!
pieced together. Is there anything you'd like to do? Otherwise you probably get flagged over by the disintegrate person, that guy.
Sedanis was going to ask Tobias where the bathrooms are because a lady needs to freshen up.
Okay. Just for clarity, because it's a weird, unusual name. Tovius with a V.
With a V. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tovius.
Because it's fantasy.
I'm going to rewrite that.
Just basically the opposite corner to here are the nearest ones.
And where are they? Where is that in relation to the entranceway that she noticed before?
It's further down the same wall.
Cool.
Yeah. And like probably as Hunk comes back, you've got this like very sharply dressed person he's got slicked back hair and stuff, and he's like, hey, can I interest you in an amazing new spell? It's you think you've heard it all, but Disintegrate really does everything that you need. You know how Disintegrate doesn't actually get rid of everything you need? Well, with Disintegrate, you can get rid of even pesky magic sorry, no one's let me talk for this long yet. And you just
Did you say? Did you say it can get rid of magical effects?
Yes, I've been working very carefully on this kind of thing, and what really sets it apart from other disintegrate spells is the fact that low-level magic items blasted out of the water. Disintegrate, and the magic's got not. I'm still trying to get the catch rate. You know how hard it is to hustle out here. I mean, I can see you've got your little. What are you in the market for?
Well, we specialise in writing good catchphrases for other businesses. Maybe we could come to an arrangement.
Yes. I mean, if you're, how quick a turnaround can you do? Rolls a really bad performance roll, and you can you see the sweat on this individual's brow. Like he mortgaged his house to do this business venture, and he's so sure he's got a good product, but no one's going for it right now. I don't know why there's such deep lore to some of these individuals, but yeah.
I mean, that depends on how good your product really is. For example, if someone was wearing hypothetically, randomly, off the top of my head, was wearing an enchanted magical object, and we cast your spell, would that disintegrate the object and leave the wearer unharmed?
Well, it wouldn't be disintegrate. if it did harm them, it would be disintegrate. All right, you're the words people. So, but yes, it is perfectly targeted, 100% tested and safe.
Rolling an insight check on that.
Go for it.
10, rubbish.
That's a 22 for Sedanis staring this person down.
This is not the hesitation of. Can I just check? Did anyone else roll?
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a 10.
Okay, so Sedanis understands perfectly. This is not the hesitation of someone who's lying. It's the hesitation of someone who, is just struggling with self-belief right now.
I'm imagining the guy in The Simpsons where his shirt's slightly undone, his tie is too far down because he's sweating so much.
Yeah,
Gil.
this is the D&D equivalent of Gil. So that's what you get.
Why don't you? Oh, okay.
So just checking, are we all around the same area? Because there was a split off.
You are now. Hunk has now returned to the group. So you're on this corner, and Tovius, having seen that you're now chatting to someone else and you're set up, she's kind of hustled off to her other job. So you're in the corner of this kind of large marketplace area.
So just keeping up the appearance. So my good man, can I just check if we did want some disintegrate? Just off the top of your head, how much are they going for these days? And do you have any grand sales on for an event such as this?
Okay, so if you just want to buy disintegrate, I can probably do your deal. Obviously, if you buy more spell scrolls, then I can knock it down for you. But probably about now, if you were to get one, and then 1 gold is 10 quid. 7 gold, 5 silver for one. However, I could do it for free. I'd do it for free if I've got a slot on the showcase stage in 15 minutes. Now, if I was able to do it as a demonstration, I'm looking for a demonstration opportunity, so I'd do it for free.
I do like the idea of seeing it on stage, or generally the idea of hearing the name disintegrate on stage feels pretty good. Now, we as a group have been known to perform our own magic and spells and also music and song and so forth. Have you ever thought about sponsorship? Anything like that? We would be willing to perhaps mention disintegrate as part of a larger performance if it meant but we want to know that you're good enough. Could we perhaps have do you have a free sample or anything like that?
Well, do you have an item on you?
Well, one of our friends is waiting outside and has a magic item they were thinking of getting rid of.
Oh, well, bring him in and I'll help him out.
They're unfortunate. They don't like busy spaces such as this. They're in the tavern right now in a corner. We had to play them with a few drinks so you can get them this close, you see.
Well, I mean, this is my store. What if someone else comes along and tries and really needs to sit, like I can't abandon my store.
Hunt pulls the guitar off his back. It's been there the entire time, and it looks like an axe, and it is very much an axe guitar. He pulls it off his back and just stands in front of the stall, strums, and off the top of his head, "You want to get rid of something? Disintegrate." And just starts doing that. Just starts riffing while standing in front of the stall, and like, "If anyone wants one, I'll charge them 7 gold, 5, no problem." Just stands in front of the stall playing, trying to attract attention.
Do we get to hear any more of the
No.
I will let you roll. I will let you roll with advantage if we get to hear more of the disintegrate jingle.
If you want to get rid of something, disintegrate. If you don't like, go.
If you want to get your magic blood pumping, disintegrate.
Get your magic blood pumping, disintegrate. It's just that over and over, like riffing random little things. Just keeps riffing, keeps going.
I will allow advantage because of Rebecca's nice little rhyming addition.
Well, that is kismet, because that is a natural 20, which makes it a 26.
So, Hunk, are you staying back to man the disintegrate stall?
Yeah, very much so. As they go, I lean across to Sedanis mid, sort of pause between, and just go, Gigoran ain't in this room, probably where people are drinking. And that was the note I got. Lean back in and keep playing.
So Sedaris kind of shuffles, kind of acknowledges that, and then kind of shuffles beside him and goes, "Disintegrate." And then kind of shimmies over to the other people.
So who is going with? I'm going to call him Gil. Who's going with Gil to back to Riveria at Brew Strike? Rogue is going. Is anyone else going with them? Quintinius? Is Sedanis staying back?
I reckon Sedanis will stay inside, but she will pass that information on to the others.
Cool.
As well.
So Gil kind of gets together like various bags, kind of doctor's style leather bags and stuff. He goes, let's okay, should we? I mean, I'll leave your friend to. That's a good song, that. But I shouldn't leave for long,
If you've gotten bored of flying, this couldn't figure low level spells.
That's not really an okay.
We'll see you back here in 15 minutes.
Cool. Quintinius and Rogue, you head out with Gil. It's pretty easy once you've been accepted in, leaving, going across the street.
I try and catch the eye of the Asimar. Just like, I'm leaving, it's okay that I come back kind of glance.
Sure. There's kind of like a I guessed that you weren't going to be straightforward, but it's fine. And then you head back into Brew Strike. Still bustling. It's starting to thin out a little bit because it's getting closer to the presentations and such across the street, and you can see still nursing that whiskey in the corner is Riveria. He's just like, have you fixed everything?
We've started, we've got in, and we have our first solution.
Yes,
it's all going to be all right.
Your life is about to go from good to great with disintegrate, and starts opening out these bags, and Riveria is just so confused. Just looking for
this. It's okay. Still doing the pompous voice, but my face looked the same like that, so it's pretty obvious why. This fellow is going to try and get rid of your jewelry. Just get rid of it in all one go. They have a spell. We think it'll work.
Right. Okay. Yes, definitely will. Tried and tested, new and improved. And like pulls out the actual scroll.
Before you continue, are you certified? Like your products, they have been rigorously tested with mages guilds and.
Oh yes, absolutely, and shows you the scroll, and you can see like right at the bottom. What I'm gonna say, like, I'm sorry, because I know that I'm just like piling sad thing upon sad thing upon sad thing with this man. It is there, like everything you need is there. You have no idea why he's decided to write his scrolls in Comic Sans.
Oh no!
He thought it was like a good idea because like technically it is an accessible text and it was like written to be as such, but they don't, like, you can't take them seriously even if they've got all the information you need on them. Yeah.
Quinn, seeing this, is going to just turn to the page in his spell book where he cured a whole village of terrible burns, just in case.
Okay. So Gil goes over to Rivera, who's just like looking at both of you for reassurance whilst like holding out her wrist. Okay, so it'll just hit me. It'll just hit the bracelet and not me. Okay.
It's promised.
Don't worry. This is. Come on, Gil. And mutters the wording of disintegrate. And basically, what it looks like is a spectral chamois leather just seems to envelop.
No.
Her wrist. There's like a little kind of almost cartoonish pop, and then he pulls back the chamois leather, and there's nothing on her wrist.
Oh, Gil, you did it, Gil. It's week tonight, Gil.
Wow, that is certainly disintegrate.
Exactly. So now that you've seen that it works, you'll come perform for me.
We were looking to perform in general, and how about we mention how great your product is as part of the performance at the start of it. We'll say we are sponsored by, and then hopefully, we're good enough, so people will associate the fantastic entertainment with.
What time and what stage will you be on? Because I want to make sure I can watch. Obviously.
We haven't signed up quite yet. We were told that we had a slot. We haven't. We're just going to sign up now.
So you might not be able to play.
Oh no, Rogue! You forgot I did that for you. We're on stage B at 8 p.m. You remember?
Okay.
Well, you were always the one who was in charge of that. Thank you for that.
So,
how can you do this to Gil? How can you do this to Gil?
I didn't think Gil was going to end up being the big bad, but here we are.
We might make it onto stage B by 8 o'clock. Who knows?
Gil seems placated by that, and is like, great. Well, I'll leave you to your friend. Don't forget when you just can't wait. Disintegrate. Yeah, picking up all of his bags and kind of.
When there's an enemy you hate, disintegrate. I mean, it could work for a variety.
That works as well. I've got to make sure that they've manned the stall all right, your friends. And kind of
Gil, just take, as before you go, take a testimony from a very satisfied customer that this product did exactly what it said on the tin. I am satisfied.
I might have to change that because I don't have tins. But okay, thank you. And runs back in, and basically you see Hunk and Sedanis. You have been having, actually, one of you roll me a D100.
Oh, did that 20 count for nothing?
That's
Do
D100.
you want to roll it or should I?
After you.
You roll it.
Yeah, go for it now.
Alright. That is 92.
Woo!
Oh my god. Okay, so when Gil gets back, you have a line of like 20 people going up to the stall
Yeah, of course we do.
who
We're
are
fucking
all
amazing.
like currently buying these disintegrate spells.
Sedaris has been using her minor illusion to kind of have little poofs of things disintegrating around Hunk as he's riffing.
I've
Yeah.
been trying to come up with more things that Hunk would sing about, and I'm not a musician, so I can't. But there's always a new line, and it's always excellent, and it's always in time and scale and rhythm. Yeah, it's really good.
So yeah, you've been doing gangbusters business for Gil, which will probably kind of make Gil a little bit happier about the iffiness of the stages earlier. So you go up and Gil comes up to you. It's just like, this is. Thank you. This is great. It's better than greatest. Disintegrate. And puts all his bits and pieces back down.
In which case, I follow with, it's better than great, disintegrate. That's pretty good.
Well, you better. I suppose you want to join. They said you still need to sign up to the stage that you're going to play and sing about me at.
I look at Sedaris, look back at Gil. Look at Sedaris, look back at Gil.
Sedaris stares Hunk down and goes, "Yes, that is what we're doing."
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'll start dealing with, hello, how may I help you today? And starts dealing with the queue of people. And with the bracelet having been removed, and now all that is needed is to smuggle Riveria in and to get a spell scroll to find where Kigorim is, with some of you now with a much happier friend in the tavern, and those of you having done a wonderful aid to this poor sap Gil. That is where we are going to pause for the break in this very unusual heist. But we will be back in like 5-10 minutes to see where it goes from here. Okay, bye. Hello and welcome back to the Apprentices Gala, where our Olvard party have managed to get inside the gala, have investigated a few of these stalls, met the hapless Gil, the mono-named Gil, who has been able to cast his special Disintegrate spell on their friend Reveria, destroying the bracelet that was stopping her from casting magic. So now all there is to find a scroll so that she can cast the spell that she's meant to be showing off, find Kigorim and just deal with him however you care to, and sneak Reveria back into this place. So we're going to pick up, because we left Rogue and Quintinius in the tavern with the recently kind of enabled Reveria. We're going to pick up with Sedanus and Hunk, who had just been able to bring a huge amount of custom to the Disintegrate stand, but now are presumably off hunting. Hunk/Chris.
I did play a small riff that was kind of a jingle for Gil before we left. Can I retcon that was bardic inspiration for Gil?
Oh, yes, you can.
Yay.
Oh, that's great. Cool. Gil's going to have a good day. If you want, you can have a look around for different people in different places. Sedanus has already spotted somewhere that seems like it's off limits because of the guards that are there. Where would you like to start investigating?
You got a plan?
I think that door over there looks likely.
Okay.
And she kind of wafts in the general direction of the brick wall door with guards.
I will also, as much as Hunk can waft, Hunk will also stodgily and quite slowly waft with Sedanus over towards the door.
Roll me performance for Hunk's wafting.
Oh, I'm good at performance, so I'm 25, not natural, obviously.
It's surprisingly good wafting.
He's got wind in his fur.
It's just one of those things where Hunk's got this general air of nonchalance that he just pulls off.
You head over to this area. There's one of the walls at the edge of this gazebo that's attached to the building. There are two guards. They're both dwarves, both with quite messy beards. One of them kind of grey, speckled, salt and peppery, and one of them much more blonde. They're just standing there. They both one of them uses she/her pronouns. The one with grey, salt and pepper, and the blonde one uses he/they pronouns. And both of them are standing either side of quite a plain door, but they also both have, as well as their general garb, keys slung around their necks.
Keys? Yes,
keychains, with just one or two keys on them. What would you like to do?
I think Sedanus, I'm going to cast Charm Person on the second level, so it applies to both of them. But how this looks in theory is that Sedanus walks over to them, kind of looking all serious, and as she gets close, she kind of snaps into, "Oh my goodness, hi, I'm really lost. Could you just, I'm looking for the bathroom. Could one of you be a darling and help me find it, please?"
Okay, they're going to both make wisdom saving throws. One of those, I think probably one of those fails. What's your DC?
Sorry, what am I looking at here?
Spell save DC.
Spell save DC. Because one of these is a 17 and one of them is an 8, so I'm guessing that the 8 fails.
Wisdom 14.
Cool. So, Imorith, who has the salt and pepper beard, she actually succeeds, but Australia with the blonde beard fails. And it's just so Australia is just, "Oh, don't you worry, you just have to go down that way."
Oh, right. Is it not through here?
Oh no! This is off limits special magic stuff back here.
Oh,
and
what
just
is
gets
it?
like
What's
a
through
clip round the
there?
shoulder from Imorith, being like, "Well, you don't tell." Sorry, we are guarding this area, and we are not allowed to say more on it.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. You're doing such a good job. Thank you.
Feel free to roll persuasion on Imorith, because obviously, like, Australia is like, of course. That's what I keep saying. I keep saying that. I'm asking for a raise, but they never give me one.
You should get a raise. That's advantage on your roll there.
Okay, I didn't need it. First roll was 21.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking that it's not super high. Oh, well, thank you. Try very hard. Toilets are that way.
Oh, that's right. Could you take me there? I'm just a little bit lost. I don't really like crowds.
Oh, of course. Back to the one who is your friend currently, or very well disposed towards you. I'll happily do. Don't worry. No, you can. It's just a door, so I'm sure it doesn't need two of us right now. I'll take you to the bathrooms.
Oh, you're such a doll. Thank you.
So Australia will take you along the wall. Hunky, you staying back?
Yeah. No, I'll stay with the last guard.
Imorith just stands there.
So,
Don't you want to join your friend?
in the bathroom?
Well, I presume that they're not coming right back here. There's nothing here for them.
Look, she didn't tell me to come with, and I know where the boundaries on this are, so I'm just gonna wait where she knows I am.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
What is it that you said, magic stuff?
Oh, it's magic stuff. Part of being a guard is keeping secrets. Because you are entrusted with very important information.
I understand completely. It wouldn't happen to be the spell scrolls that people are going to be presenting later, would it?
Nope. And that is very convincing.
Oh.
That seems genuine.
Oh, okay. Do you know where I can find those? Because my friend's supposed to be casting her spell scroll later, and there's been an unfortunate mix-up. People seem to think she didn't write the scroll, and we're just here to help her.
You're with that troublemaker.
Oh, is that the way you think about my friend? That's a shame.
Well, I mean, it's true. Look, when your friend gets back, you're going to have to leave. I'm sorry, but we don't want anyone disrupting things, and people just coming in and saying that they wrote a spell when they did not is very much the trouble we are trying to avoid.
Well, my friend is not the kind to lie, and maybe you and I are on different sides of the same coin. I'm just wondering if you can help us out here. Like, what happened? What do you think happened? Because from my perspective, my friend got done a pretty bad deal.
Are you trying to do you want to roll anything in terms of persuasion or such like?
Yeah,
or are you trying to do anything magical?
Hunk's not big on deception or anything like that. Hunk's just straight up talking.
Cool. Imorith just comes back with, one of the important things about being a guard is impartiality and not sharing every piece of information with the general public. And I take being a guard very seriously.
Okay, I understand.
Meanwhile, Australia has it's a very short walk to the bathrooms. Are you just pretending to go to the bathroom, or what is the game plan here?
So, the game plan is, I guess, do I need to ask you to describe the layout of the bathrooms?
It's gender neutral bathrooms and just a series of stalls either side.
And are they busy?
Not too busy.
I don't need to know details.
There's people in there, but it's not like there's a queue or anything.
Okay. I reckon I continue with the charming, and when we get near the bathroom, I giggle and grab Estrella's hand and pull him into a cubicle with me, at which point I switch to using words of terror.
Oh, shoot! Okay. What kind of, like, I'm not going to make you, like, improvise for a minute solid. Obviously, words of terror is where you talk to a humanoid for a minute straight.
Yeah.
Who or what are you trying to make Australia, to make him afraid of?
That's a good point, actually. My initial thought was just trying to make him so scared that he stays in there but gives me his keys. But is there anything else more fun I can do?
I think it is an individual that you have to make him afraid of.
Do you want a thought?
Please.
The other guard?
Yeah. That's the next obvious one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm whispering to him is based around the idea that if he goes back to that door, then he will be near Imoris, and Imoris, if they see Estrella again, will attack them on sight.
Cool. So that's absolutely fine. Imorith is she/her, just for a refresher for everyone. There's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
That absolutely will work. He will follow you out of the cubicle at the end. But if you're just walking out, when he walks out of the bathroom with you and is gonna just like, I'm gonna I'm hungry.
Just in case anyone else saw us both walk out the same cubicle, Sedanis will kind of go and leave.
Okay.
In that minute.
Well, that minute's been like while you've been talking to Imorith.
Cool. Just checking. Got a thing I might want to do, but yeah. So
basically, Australia, he just says like, I'm quite hungry. I'm going to just and starts backing away. Would you like to come with me?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. And just goes around the corner and hustles away from this. You can start walking back if you like. In terms of giving you his key, like, I'll allow you to make a roll for it now, but that wouldn't automatically fold into words of terror.
Oh, okay. That's a shame.
So you can just make him scared.
Okay. Well,
make him sad.
But as part of my words, could I not have conveyed that it was important that he gave me his keys, so then I could protect the stuff that's behind that door on his behalf, because he could not go near Imorith.
Has rolled well enough on like levels of common sense to not do that. There is still a key around Imorith's neck, and I'm assuming that after that Sedanis is heading back to where Hunk is still talking to Imorith.
Yeah, not in a super obvious way though, because she doesn't want Imorith to spot her until she knows the lay of the land.
Roll stealth.
No. That is a 6.
Okay, we'll get to that. What is Hunk saying? Like, you're kind of at the end of your time alone with Imorith, because Sedanis is very obviously approaching.
This is a marquee, yes?
Yes. Marquee, etc.
Is there? How's the tent being held up?
It is being held up by a series of poles and counterweights and ropes.
Is there a very obvious, visible central pole?
it's one of the ones that's so long. It has like 3 central poles that go along.
Is there one that sort of holds up this bit of the marquee?
You could knock the nearest one, and it would like take out a corner.
Would it leave this area? Would it leave this area sort of covered? Would the marquee sort of drop down over this area? Great. By the way, have you seen the disintegrate guy? That looks really, really can point, like trying to draw focus away.
Like persuade for distracting.
21.
Looking away at the disintegrate guy. I have, of course, because part of being a guard is being aware of one's surroundings.
As she looks away, I am going to subtly, if possible, cast Shatter at the top of this, so that the pole just and there's a really loud ringing noise that, from my thought, comes off the guitar and just comes out and then shatters the top of it, collapsing the whole thing in. So she'll run off and investigate that.
So you're focusing,
right?
Subtle. You are focusing it on the top of the pole.
Yes.
So it's
so
not
within a 10-foot radius, there shouldn't be any people.
Yep. Roll me stealth.
14.
14. Okay. No one knows that you cast it, but ringing out to such a degree that probably in the pub there's just like a faint ring. Shatter suddenly like just twists and splinters this pole at the top. A huge falls down, and like you can see like the outline of Gil underneath fabrics and such, like, as well as various other people nearby. Imorith is just saying like where everyone's I will deal with this because I am a god, and starts moving towards. Sedanis, there's enough of a distraction there, at least, that you can come up. It's now you and Hunk and this door, but you do not currently have any keys.
Chloe?
Yep.
I'm a Minotaur.
Go for it.
I would like to charge this door.
Go for it. Roll the attacks and such.
Okay. Using my horns, I'm going to just run up and just charge into this door. I have a feature as a Minotaur, which is called hammering horns. I can attempt to shove something, so there's a lot of oomph behind this. It's not just me going, it's like a quick sort of step back and then run up and just like trying to all my strength into my head.
Okay.
So I don't know how any of that works, because the door needs to make a strength saving throw, technically.
Okay.
I make an attack roll of an 18 on the door. Do you want me to roll damage as well?
Yes, please.
For excellent 9 points of damage, and the door makes a strength saving throw, however you want to handle that.
Cool. Can you please make me a dexterity saving throw?
Of course. I'm a bard. I'm not bad at these. That's an 8.
An 8. What happens as this chaos starts to erupt? You back up, smash into this door, and you do absolutely it splinters and fractures around you. But because you came powering at it with such energy, what you do is you break through into like a very short corridor. There's a couple of doors to the left and right. There is a door up ahead, but you're unable to stop yourself. So you go further down into that corridor, and you immediately feel this weird kind of like, it just feels like something catching you and then pulling you, and you are strung up from the ceiling, basically as part of a snare that was laid in front of the door at the end of the corridor. Sedanis, you see this happen. Is there anything you would like to do?
It's all right, I got this. You get the scroll. Upside down.
You sure you're all right up there?
I've been in worse.
So, Sedanis, are you going to try and get scrolls whilst Hunk deals with his issues?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to look specifically for the one that we're after, rather than just kind of grabbing any old scroll.
Cool. You can see the doors have small little like stained glass viewing windows in them, and you can see that actually the only one that has any crates or anything that looks to be like magical scrolls is the one just past Hunk, so you can kind of like edge round, because it's quite broad in this little corridor and just strung up. Try the door.
In for a penny.
Can I use detect magic, please?
Sure.
Or is it just going to detect that there's magical scrolls in there? So there's magic. It's all
So much magic. So much magic. It's all magic.
You're in the middle of a Mages Guild gala.
He's blinded.
You'll be able to get like a little bit of information.
Okay.
You turn on the infrared while the lights are on.
So, what do you get for? So you've cast detect magic.
Or would I be better just doing investigate? I don't think my investigate's that great.
Well, it gives you the School of Magic, doesn't it? Detect Magic, so you'd be able to at least knock out some of these scrolls if you're looking. I mean,
that's true.
What School of Magic does a foot use?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of that.
If you're basing it on Bigby's hand, it's evocation.
What are you using, Nat? Are you using investigating or detecting magic?
Yeah, I will go for detect magic.
Okay, cool. You get a huge combination of different types of magic past the door, and obviously you just get overwhelmed by the fact that there are loads of wizards here. Like this event is staffed by wizards. There are a huge number of different things. You also get really significant abjuration magic from this particular room.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You would associate that with alarms and such like.
Good. Okay. Okay. I need to have a little think about what I want to do.
Has a turn passed? Do I get to roll again on the snare, or do you want me to try and do something about it?
You can try and do something about the snare.
I am going to take out my axe, which is a guitar and also an axe. It's got sharp edges, and I'm going to just try and cut the top of the snare. I don't know if that works.
Let me just see.
I believe I'm restrained, so that would be attack at disadvantage. If it works at all.
You'd be attacking at disadvantage anyway because it's still invisible. There's nothing that says it becomes visible once you've been snared.
Okay. Well,
So I thought it was a physical snare.
No, this is the literal spell snare.
Should I try and swipe it with the sword? With the axe,
you can
sorry?
you can like attack it, or you can make a dexterity saving throw. I'll allow
Is it an
to.
action? Is it an action to make a dex saving throw, or do I make a dex saving through the end of my turn anyway?
End of each of your turns, actually, yeah. So you can attack.
So I'll try and
if you
attack it
don't.
as the action and then dex save. Cool. With disadvantage, I roll. Ooh, not good. 6 plus 6, 12.
So and that's with disadvantage.
Yep.
Cool.
6 plus 6.
I'm gonna say you just like. I know it's not a full scale fall, but you do take like 1 point of bludgeoning damage just because you're falling like head first. As you cut through this and just tonk onto the floor outside this room, and are nursing like another bump on your head. Nat,
One of the many.
what would Sedanis like to do?
That's a very good question. I don't particularly want to touch the door.
Do you want me to do it again?
What we'll do is we're gonna leave you there for a moment. You can have a little think, but we're gonna flash over to Bruce Strike. So this is going back a tiny bit, but actually, should we pick it up from where you hear the ring?
Sure.
So you hear like that little ring, and you've been talking to Riveria, basically deciding whether you should go in without her or whether you should take her with you this time, to try and avoid wasting too much time, basically. What's the final
Gil
decision?
Has Gil disappeared?
Gil's gone, yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking we should take you in, and
Right.
if Quintinius agrees, and that like we can help you in every way possible. You're our ward. You're our assistants. So you might not be allowed to get in on your own ability. You've said that they'd be warned about you, but if you're our guest, then maybe that'll be okay.
I don't know. I've got do you have like any disguises or anything I could like wear, or somewhere I could try and hide?
Do you think the guards know what you look like, or do they just know that if you walk in and going, "Hello, I am Riveria," not to let you in?
I think Agoram gave them like a rough description and like my name.
I'm gonna put a hand on her shoulder and say, "No, look. Now look. You're a friend of ours, and we know who we trust, and we know who we believe in, and we believe in you. You're the great wizard Riveria. You're meant to be in there." And I'm doing a bardic inspiration, and I would also like to cast enhanced ability to give her Eagle Splendor, so advantage on charisma checks.
Nice.
Advantage on charisma checks, nice.
I have a question for how Major Image works. Because I don't have any disguise spells. Can I cast Major Image over and around Rivia so that she is walking inside an image of someone, Riveria, so she is walking inside an image of someone who looks utterly different?
As far as I can tell, yes. I mean, like, if it's, you'd have to make sure you're moving it so it doesn't touch anyone else, because then you'd immediately see through it. But I would allow that you could create something around her that just has to, you are basically doing like person with a hedge or a pot plant, but just more advanced. But yeah, I can't see any reason why, like, it's definitely big enough and it looks convincing and seems convincing and it can move with her, so yeah.
Right, I have a plan, Riveria. How would you like to look?
Like a powerful wizard who deserves to be there.
Well,
then I don't have to cast anything at all.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really nice. Okay, I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna say, "My name's Riveria and I made a versatile foot, and you're gonna let me show it to everyone." Yeah, does that sound good?
We can do that if you think it. Yes, we could. Yes.
Okay. And Riveria actually starts getting up, feeling so inspired by Rogue, and is just now beelining out of the door of Bruce Strike, straight across the street and up to where Alan, the door person, the Azimar that you've already met, is standing.
So what I would like to do is I would like to walk with Riveria, as though we are meant to be, just meant to walk in. I want to do that thing where you look like there is no reason why we would need to stop.
Yeah. Quintinius is...
Exactly the same. Although as Rogue and Quint chase after Riveria, Quint just probably only can reach about his knee, I'd guess, and just go, "Oh, I hope we don't screw this up," and cast Inspiration.
Yeah.
Depends on me.
Yes.
And I'll look down and go, "No, we won't. Look, I mean, we're... Oh, hang on. They're over there. No, of course we won't. You deserve to be here just as well. Look at the magic we're doing." And I'm going to cast Inspiration on you as well.
Yay! Third party.
Okay. I would like everyone to make just a charisma check. You can add inspiration if you want, but this is literally for just doing the confident, I am meant to be here and Riveria is meant to be here with us check.
Can it be performance, or does it have to be just straight charisma?
I'll go for, performance seems fair.
Yeah, thanks.
Going to use that inspiration. Good, glad that I did.
Even with advantage?
With advantage?
Yeah, because I gave you
Splendor.
Eagle Splendor, which is advantage on charisma checks.
Eagle Splendor.
Eagle Splendor.
Increased it by 1.
Hey, worth it.
What did Rogue and Quint get?
21.
22.
Well, Rivera got 16, but thankfully that's enough. I think Alan is just like, I've dealt with these people a lot, and but Rivera is just like, I am meant to make way for me, feeling so confident and just like blasting straight through. You walk through into an area that you're familiar with, but however, the minute that you cross over the threshold and get into an area with like where there's all the topiary and such like of wizards past, Rivera just goes, "Make way for me!" Which bit of the plan's next?
We find you a scroll.
Yes. Either there's the storeroom or there's Kigorum. Do you know where are the others?
We left them at Gil's table, and they definitely wouldn't have run off and done anything stupid because we told them to meet us there.
Definitely not.
Okay. However, by the time that you're there, because you've had the shatter has rung out while you're in the pub, there's actually, you can kind of just hear, like off to where the arcane showroom is, that there's a lot of noise and such like, and people are starting to fence it off with various bits and pieces. And Rivera just goes, okay, if the storeroom's that way, but if we can't go that way, then we should try and find Kigorum.
Well, I have a very easy way to do that.
Yes?
And I would like to cast Locate Object on Riveria's scroll. That is a thing I can do.
Yes, you can, as long as it's within, I believe, 1,000 feet.
I don't do distance or spatial awareness, but that's like a sensible size of a hall, isn't it? Great!
So, you get the rough like dimensions of the direction that it's in. It's almost kind of like a mental compass, so it will keep directing you. And you can tell that up ahead and to the right hand side, which Rivera can corroborate, is the atrium where all the bars and drinks are located. You kind of I'm just gonna roll for the guard's perception, because Riveria is now just openly wandering around. Thankfully, they rolled super poorly. So you start wandering through, and like Riveria kind of leading you and showing you where the bar is. And you reach this beautiful atrium with light kind of streaming down, and you can see a selection of different bars, basically local businesses who have got different stalls and bars set up. There's demon liquor, there's gelatinous booze, there's drinking cloud, etc. There's also drink, which is technically like a pun on blink, but just doesn't sound like it works.
Having an exclamation mark.
Yeah. Feel free to roll perception. Oh yeah, Oz?
No, I was gonna do a role play at some people. Is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, right.
Do a role play.
Do a role play.
People.
Okay, so right, Quintinius and Rivera. I have an idea, and you're gonna have to go with me on this. So Kegrim is gonna be really shocked to see you. That's for certain, right? So
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna introduce myself to Kegrim and be like and pretend that I know him, and he'll be all confused in that kind of way that people get confused when someone goes up to them and says, "Oh, I remember you from this and that," and you have that obvious horror in your mind of not knowing them. And so so I'll start talking to him. Then you walk in, maybe 2 minutes later, and when he is distracted by seeing you, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can sneak something off of him. I'm pretty good at that kind of thing. I can maybe try that.
What's the sign for when you're done confusing him and we should, or I should?
Just give me 2 minutes and then just come in.
Okay, Quincy.
And the sign for me would be him being distracted.
Quincy, you gonna go help Rogue?
I sort of feel like I should stay with you.
Oh, okay.
Rogue, has it been 10 minutes since we walked through the door?
It's just coming to the end of that because you've been kind of going like over these little internal bridges and through this room and through that room and via this like ballroom, and then you've come to the end of this. So you've got like, you can tell over in the left-hand corner, but it starts to then kind of fizzle.
What is it that's fizzling, sorry?
The locate object.
Oh, locate spell, okay. The, just for the record, the Eagle Splendor lasts an hour, so that's going to be there a while.
Yay.
But I think your inspiration has run out, so I would like to re-inspire you with, now look at that young lady's face, and you think of that, and you use that courage and confidence and so much pride and charisma, and you go and do it for her.
I am so proud of you, Rivera. I'm going to do this for you.
Thanks, Rogue. I'm proud of you as well, and I'm proud of Quint as well. I'm proud of everyone.
Cool. Rogue is inspired.
Okay, I'm going to head into this bar.
Okay, Rogue. It's you know the rough direction, and so it's relatively easy to spot where there's like, I'm going to try and emulate what I imagine his hair to look like. Like it's super floppy. It's probably not got like as much height, quite as much height as this, but there's like a really big kind of like floppy blonde waterfall at the front. And you can see him just leant up against the bar of gelatinous booze, making a very long and complicated drinks order.
One of those, Chloe?
Yeah, kind of.
And I will walk up to him and, in the most slightly flamboyant manner, Kegorim! It's been too long! How have you been since the meeting 2 years ago? And I'll go to like shake his hand.
Feel free to roll perception or performance or deception. And Kegorim will roll insight of, do I know this person?
14?
You're inspired! You're
No,
so inspired!
that's an extra 4 on that. So 14.
Non-nat 20 for Kegorim. So...
I've heard so much about the things you've been doing these past few years. Please, can I get your drink for you?
Well, I mean, you can get my drink for me. I've no idea who you are. Like, I'm not surprised you know who I am, obviously, but...
I see. No, sorry. Hang on. This isn't how I usually look. And I'm gonna cast Disguise Self again on myself and look like someone else who I've seen here.
Roll me a D100.
72.
72. Okay. Oh, Tave. So,
Yes.
Tave,
I'm
it's
sorry.
good to see you.
When people see a Warforged, they it's more interesting to people, so it helps me get
Yeah, you've
things
always
going.
kind of been a bit boring, to be honest, Tave.
Thank you, and well, I mean that's another reason why people don't spend too much time around me. Now, one drink exclamation mark for this fellow. Do you still drink exclamation mark?
Well, yeah. I mean,
and one for me as well.
Okay. So, wait, why are you here? I thought you were going to be at your dad's lake house.
Oh, he died. I've currently got an ongoing calm emotions on myself, so that's why everything's okay. It's the only reason I was able to be here today.
Oh, he's dead. They cacked it. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how this person would respond to that. Okay, so...
And then I just lift up a drink and like go to clink it on it.
Here's to being really chill about your dad being dead.
I'm emotional.
Are you, showing anything?
I, with the reading of the will and all that kind of thing, I didn't have time to prepare anything. Do you have something?
Oh yeah, I've got this whole foot thing. I mean, it's no big deal. Like, they really want me to show it off because they think it's amazing. But, you know.
Thing?
It's like a foot that can, like, it can kick, it can stamp, it can grind people into the ground, etc.
That seems very unique in its creation.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty creative.
Well, yes, obviously. Can I have a look at it? Like, you were always a bit more flamboyant and interesting. You said, I'm boring, I get that, I understand that. I would like to see how you put it together. I'm trying to be a little less boring, you see.
Can you roll either persuasion or deception? I'll let you choose. Just because there's obviously been a lot of there's been a lot of kind of both going on.
15.
Okay. That's 15. Okay.
Even if he doesn't actually get anything out, what I'm going to be looking for is if he, like, when you get scared that someone's maybe stealing a wallet, you touch the wallet. I'm going to see if I notice it on him, even if he doesn't get it out.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, you know what, like, as long as you can have a little look at it, I'm not surprised that you kind of want to know what, you know, I'm thinking. So have a look and just make sure you get it back to me in the next, like, half hour or so, okay? Sure. I've got to go because I've got, like, some other people to talk to, and just takes a scroll, shoves it into your hand, and walks off.
I'm going to open it and see.
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, what a... Absolutely.
Rolled quite high on his insight.
I got a 15.
I'm so sorry, the DC was 16. As you open up this scroll, there's suddenly a... and it's like those die packs that you get with money. You open this up and a huge blue glob just all over you. You are not restrained, but in every other way it is like a viscid glob in that it is on you for an hour and you can only get it off with, like, universal solvent or a ton of alcohol. You are currently stained by this, and it's about this point, to be honest, that it's 2 minutes in, so Quintinius and Riveria are, like, approaching you through the crowd at the very moment that there's just... That's not... to Quintinius, that's not what my spell does.
Yeah, no, I think maybe Rogue overestimated his persuasiveness. Maybe.
In that case, so Kigarum is still in the bar, right?
Yes, deliberately walked off quite quickly. I will roll stealth for him. You're welcome to roll perception if you want. He rolled a 20, a non-nat 20 on stealth.
Can I assist? Because I'm looking too.
If you want, or you've been. If you haven't used your inspiration, you were freshly inspired just only a couple of minutes ago, so I'd allow.
I used the inspiration already.
Oh, okay, I see. What have you got?
So do I get advantage, or do you roll separately?
I'll say get advantage rather than separate rolls.
Both times it landed on the 20 and then went. So I've got a total of 9, unfortunately.
You cannot see where Kigarum has gone, and with this kind of rogue is covered in weird blue glob. The rogue as Tave/Octavian, weird kind of semi-friend of Kigarum. We're going to cut back to Sedanis and Hunk. Natalie, what does Sedanis do?
Sedanis is going to look down at Hunk and...
Down?
Well, you've just fallen onto the floor.
Down, right?
Oh, right, okay. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Get up.
That's where we're cutting to.
You alright?
Yeah, it's another bump on the head.
So, I can, I don't particularly want to touch this door. I have a mage hand that could. Okay. I'm not entirely convinced that anything touching this door is going to end well.
I have a proposal.
I'd like to hear it.
I'll break down the door. We find the scroll. You get it to Riveria, and I'll just pick me up later. Like, it's not the first time I've been in prison, nor the first time you had to pay for me.
You're a sweetie, Hunk, but there's a lot of stuff going on behind that door. I'm not particularly convinced that you'll come out of it okay.
Takes more than a bump on the head to hurt me.
I'd like to try Mage Hand turning the knob to start with before Hunk does anything ridiculous.
You can turn the knob and you can begin opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
Roll perception for me. Because presumably you're kind of watching and focused on this.
Yeah. So that's 21.
21. With that, door creaks open and you hear a sound. The sound is and it sounds like someone being woken up.
Oh, good. Alright, so I'm gonna turn to Hunk and kind of do a shh. Preemptive hush.
Okay.
And just like carefully peer around the door, see if we can see.
Roll stealth for kind of very slyly looking around the door.
Please, iPad, wake up.
Is anyone coming back to the door we smashed in? Like, we can see into this, like, collapsed head. Is anyone moving up to this space?
They will be soon. Like, at the moment, there's enough kind of business. You can hear, like, general cries. There's been, like, a lot of, like, clattering and things, and they're starting to coordinate to get people out of the collapsed bit of the gazebo. But at the moment, this isn't their kind of priority.
Cool.
Natalie?
That was a mere 13.
That's alright, because this person rolled a nat 1. And what you see is the back of a halfling who is like just branding a quarterstaff, but has their back to you, and is just go, I wasn't asleep, but is currently scanning the opposite side of the room to you. This room is stacked with crates on crates on crates on crates.
So he woke up, heard the alarm going off about the door, and then facing away from the door.
Fell asleep, got woken up by the alarm spell, rolled really badly.
Oh.
Okay, well, I have nothing that can stop the alarm from ringing, so I'm just going to go straight away and cast a Zone of Truth around this halfling.
Okay, I have to make a save for that.
Charisma of 14.
Nice.
Charisma is 11.
Haha!
Okay,
But
probably realises that magic has happened, so now swings back. And Ellen is looking straight at you. Who are you?
Mm-hmm. Who I am isn't important. Who you are is very important, though. Who are you?
I'm Ellen, I guard the scrolls!
You're doing such a good job, Ellen.
What?
See, who are you? I'm Ellen, I got the scrolls! This is so cool.
How long does this last? 10 minutes. Oh, great. We've got loads of time.
Sure, you've got loads of time.
You're doing such a good job, Ellen.
I feel like I'm not!
You're doing really well. It's important that that we find a certain scroll. I'm looking for a versatile foot.
I'm not meant to let anyone see the scrolls!
But is there a versatile foot scroll in this room?
All the scrolls are in this room!
Every single scroll.
All the ones that are being presented!
Which one is the versatile foot?
Can you roll persuasion? Because Zone of Truth doesn't mean that you have to speak, it means that if you speak, then it's the truth.
Right, yeah.
So, Ellen is going to need a little bit
That's
more.
a nat 20 plus 6.
Ooh.
Which one is the foot? Ellen.
It's that one over there, like pointing off to the right. I made a code, and you can just see that like scrawled onto the crate is VF. And then you realise that on all the other crates there's just like D, S, C, A, etc.
That's a really good coding system, Ellen. Well done. You're very good at your job.
I tried.
I don't suppose. So Sedanis is going to she's going to slink over and check the scroll. She's also, as she does that, I don't suppose any of these scrolls were written by Kagorin, were they?
No.
None of them.
No, there's other ones by other people, but none by him.
Okay.
Can I check what Hunk is doing?
I am watching to see if anyone comes towards the shattered door. And the moment anyone starts to move towards it, I'm casting goddamn stinking cloud.
Cool. You don't need to roll perception because it's going to be really obvious. There are various guards, and actually it's Imorith, who is the one who comes back here, doing the patrols and now trying to secure everything. And Imorith, like, sees the door is broken and sees... If you would please, I've asked that you leave the premises because you are involved in something that you should not be involved and not be here for. And
I cast Stinking Cloud. Stinking Cloud is within 90 feet. I can create a large cloud. It has a 20-foot radius. The radius is going to start 20 foot away from the edge of the door, so it's like just around, not the door itself, so maybe 5 foot into the door.
okay.
The entire cloud is nauseating gas. Each creature that is completely within the cloud at the start of its turn must make a con saving throw against poison. On a failed save, the creature spends its action that turn retching and reeling.
What?
The whole area is heavily obscured.
What is your DC?
My spell save DC is a 14, I believe. Yeah, it's 14.
16.
Okay.
But it's heavily obscured?
Heavily obscured.
So basically Amora wanders in, like coughs because it's still disgusting, but isn't poisoned or similar, and just starts like emerging from this.
I am going to step up so I am blocking her way so she can't get out of the cloud, but I'm not in it.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I appear to have gone last.
You need to come. Well then, come with me into this cloud.
No, thank you. That looks rather disgusting. I'd rather not go into that cloud.
This is an exclusive area for staff only.
Can you make the cloud go away? Is it some kind of security measure or something?
I do not possess a fan. You get into like a conversation about that with Imorith. With the scrolls and such, like, are you looking at any other items in there? Because you're now like aware that Hunk is being occupied by one of the guards who's approaching, and stuff seems to be like calming down a little bit. There's a bit more coordination outside.
Yeah. After checking to make sure there wasn't an alternative one that Kagorin had put to put his name on, I don't know, I feel like there's something I've forgotten that I should be looking for.
No, you've got it. You've got the scroll.
Yeah, so
it's basically all the other scrolls that are being presented.
Yeah.
So it's a range of other spells.
Yeah. We have nothing against the rest of them. It's just Kagorin. So no, Sedanis is going to pocket the versatile foot scroll. She's going to pat. What was the name?
Ellen.
Ellen. I didn't write it down. I always write things down. She's going to pat Ellen on the shoulder. Thank you. And then kind of will come up behind Hunk and switch into oh my gosh, this is disgusting. What happened here?
There seems to be some cloud issue. Can you please come with me? You must leave.
Yeah, can you get us out of here, please?
This way, pointing into the cloud.
In which case I can't move past Imrith, can I?
Imorith is like pressing against the edge to let you past.
I'll go, can you go ahead? Because I can't see a thing. You lead the way and I'll come right behind.
Persuade.
Okay.
Or,
24. 18 on the dice, and I am very persuasive.
Terrible roll. Okay. Just this once. And, turns around and marches up into the cloud.
I will put my hand on Imorith's shoulder so that she knows I'm still with them, and keep going. And from behind, just gesture, move off, so the Sonaris can get out and move around. As we step into the cloud, I will leave it up for a bit, so there'll be rolls to see if we get through it. But that way, you might be able to get through it and not be seen.
Okay.
I'm going to close the door behind me, so hopefully Ellen doesn't get too much cloud trapped in the room with them.
Okay. As you close the door, Ellen's like, wait, I can. Oh, I should have attacked. I forgot. I got so focused on talking. Whilst you're navigating this cloud, I want to cut back to Rogue Quintinius and Riveria. What are y'all doing? Yeah. Oh no.
Can you not just disguise yourself again to not have blue paint on your face?
I'm gonna try and prestidigitate it away.
Unfortunately, prestidigitation does not work on this.
Oh no!
It'll rub off in a bit. Just work with it. Rivera, I've realised that we may have one last hurdle that I don't know if I really hope you thought of.
Right.
You say you have a scroll. You can cast magic, and you're here. Do you have any proof that it is still your spell and not that jumped up hair boy?
The one that Kigorum has, it says Riveria's. It says my name on it because it's the original one that I had and that I kept to myself.
Yes,
if it was his, then why would there be just one with my name on it? All the other ones are replicas made by the guild.
If I was stuck in that sort of situation, I would, declare my undying love for you and say it was a grand gesture. It's not proof.
Well, some people have spells that make you tell the truth, don't they? Can't we make him tell the truth?
Do you know, I feel Sedanis has something just like that. Very well.
Right.
Let's try and get that spell scroll again. Rogue, I feel like you may be a little conspicuous right now.
Okay, mate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slip into the loo, and I'm going to try and disguise on myself. If that doesn't get rid of it, it might be that I just have to go around like this all day.
Okay.
I won't involve myself with the rest of you. I feel like you've got it now.
Okay. Should we try and find Kigorum?
Yes.
Okay. Quint, roll perception. See if you're able to get any final
16.
clock on him. Unfortunately, with the 16, you think that it looks like he's managed to get out of this room, out of this space. You can obviously do fresh magic if you wanted to do that. It'll require casting a bit more. There are some toilets right next to the bars that obviously Rogue can hop into. You try to disguise self, but because this is designed specifically to demonstrate that someone is incriminated, there is still a viscid globe on you, because it's not a part of you that you can disguise over.
I'm going to separate myself from Quintinius and explain to Quintinius that I'm too obvious now. I'm going to go look for a universal solvent, see if anybody is demonstrating such things, and try and get them to demonstrate on me. But I feel like that is getting in the way of what the rest of the group is trying to do.
That's absolutely fine. What I think happens is Rogue, where people are demonstrating stuff, it's back at the Arcane showroom. So you start making your way back to the Arcane showroom, but you can see that it's been cordoned off. Part of the corner has collapsed, and you see this stinking smoke cloud that is starting to dissipate. Hunk and Sedanis, I'll need the rolls from you in terms of actually navigating and getting out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's an 18 on a con save.
Do it
So
fresh.
it's yes.
What am I adding to my roll on this? Sorry.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's just a straight 13 then.
Cool. So
Wait,
you are
wait,
stuck
yeah.
coughing and retching, whereas
is
I can
Imorith.
be. Okay. In which case, because I'm behind Imorith, I will just be pushing Imorith forward, going. Maybe we should try going. Maybe we should try going this way, and just remove Imorith from this situation and try and get Imorith out of the way so that Sedanis can escape.
Cool. I'll say because Imorith is currently like coughing and such, like it's pretty easy for you to aid her and just kind of angle her out of stuff. Natalie, you're like Sedanis is poisoned. Is that correct?
No, just spends a turn coughing and retching and then makes a saving throw again later.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say that you emerge. You're just like, you can feel down the wall because this is right next to a door, right next to a wall. So you kind of emerge, coughing, spluttering, but slowly outside of the cloud. Hunk is emerging with Imorith a little bit round the side. Rogue definitely sees Sedanis. You can roll if you're like looking around in terms of whether you would also spot Hunk, but basically as you come to this where everything is like collapsed and people are slowly trying to get this fixed again.
Well, 5, so I don't think I see Hunk, despite the size.
Yeah, you probably see Sedanis just before Sedanis sees you because coming out coughing and such like.
Well, Sedanis might not recognise me.
True. Make a perception or investigation roll in terms of whether you recognise Rogue.
Which one's better? That's 16.
I'd say with that, like, it's a double take, but that's definitely... Yeah, you know when Rogue's done a spell. And, like, sometimes because Rogue's a Warforged, when he does disguise self, like, there's a slight difference in proportions or something that you've kind of got used to.
He forgets the hands.
Or maybe, like, with this group, because we've done stuff together, there's always a thing that I have on it that makes it obvious that, it's still Rogue.
You've got one of your little badges.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
There's
badge.
Rogue on it.
So, you see each other.
That's an interesting look on you.
Yeah, I mean, like, we met the guy and we tried to get his scroll, but he gave his scroll and it did this. And I'm trying to find something to get rid of it, like some sort of like universal solvent kind of thing. But, do you have the scroll? Do you have? No, he has the scroll. What do you
Does he?
have? How do you? So Quintinius like tried to find the scroll and said it was on him.
Interesting.
If there's any player confusion, it's because the one that Quintinius was focusing on was the one that Riveria wrote herself, was like the scroll that belonged to Riveria, and these ones are replications made for the purposes of selling at the gala.
Okay. Then I will.
But your characters
That
might still be
realisation.
confused.
Oh no, I'm still confused. Quintinius was looking for that.
Where is Quintinius? And did you bring Riveria with you?
Yeah, she's here. She's like totally in the bar.
Okay. Well, let's...
I'm gonna get rid of this. You go to the bar. I'll sort out this face.
Can I check what Hunk is doing right now?
Yeah.
If I'm getting out of the cloud with Imoreth and just going, right, so I understand I barged in where I shouldn't have, and I've clearly made some kind of error.
Absolutely.
That was unintentional. I did not realize what was going on. I was looking for my friend's scroll, you understand. Didn't find anything, though.
Well, yes, you explained that you were looking for a scroll. I explained that you shouldn't be in here because no one associated with that wrongdoing and troublemaking should be in here, so now I need you to leave.
Okay. And I do.
Where do you go, though?
Out. Like, if Imoreth is going, I'll just go out the front door and just wait for everyone. I've done what I can.
Okay, but there's like other ways you can try and get back in through the back entrance if you want to, because otherwise you will just be waiting there for like who knows how long.
Hunk's done everything Hunk can do. Hunk's not the world's best liar. Hunk is very much on par with tell the truth and try and do the right thing, and thinks he's done as much as he can do. So he's going to go outside, pull out the guitar, and just be playing quietly by the front gate, just waiting for everyone else to sort things out.
Okay.
I have had an idea. So this scroll that went on me, was that an alchemical thing, or was it actually magic? Like, was it a scroll that did that, like a glyph?
Yes, it is a scroll of spontaneous dye.
Can I then dispel it?
I'm going to say that because it would defeat the object, like whoever made this is smart enough. Unfortunately, a level 3 dispel magic won't be able to undo it.
Okay, I'll just keep searching around and leave things up to other people.
Okay. What I'm going to tell you, Oz, is that in your searching, basically people say that this area is off limits currently, and unfortunately can't help you with finding anything to get this off of your face. However, no one's treating it as like stupidly weird because everyone's dealing with a massive gazebo that's just collapsed.
Yeah.
And a horrible smelling cloud.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I will follow Sidanis.
I'll tell you what, there's one thing that does happen. And Gil, like having come out of the corner that he was in, sees you and goes, "Oh, that's a problem, isn't it?"
Good. Sorry, good sir. Would you be able to possibly deal with this?
Well, I've already done you a free sub. Like, if you pay 75 gold, seven gold, 5 silver. Or I've got a free option, but that's just, I had these made, but I hadn't been able to use them yet, and it's a paper mask of Gil's face. With a little speech bubble that says disintegrate.
So I had previously given all my money to Quintinius at the start of this adventure. I'll take the mask.
Did you?
Okay, you can have a paper mask.
We all gave you at the top of the adventure for going through the gate.
I don't think I took that. Sorry, I missed that completely. I thought you all took it out to go, yeah, ha, 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 ha. But
okay.
Sorry.
No, I definitely gave mine to you.
I given it back once we were through, but we didn't.
In that case, you have a choice.
If Chloe will allow that, I will happily purchase the disintegrate spell and ask Gil to cast it. Because pointing at my own face and doing a disintegrate is not a great mood.
Yeah. The spectral chamois leather just gives your face a nice clean up and then pulls back, and it's fine.
Now, my good man, how does that look?
What rhymes with great?
Mate?
Hate.
Exasperate.
Great.
Exfoliate.
You need when your face needs to be exfoliate. No, that you have to add a D on.
When you need to exfoliate.
It looks good. Is your friend? Where's your friends?
I'm gonna go and look for them. Thank you very much, and I'll shake their hand.
Shake his hand.
Good luck with this. Pointing to the collapse.
Yeah. No, it'll be all right. Old Gil always comes up in the end. So Sidanis and Rogue, what would you like to do now that you're all cleaned up?
Yeah, back to the bar.
Yeah.
Well, I say back. I've not been, so I will probably wait for Rogue to show me how to get there.
Yeah, we're gonna go and find Quint.
Cool. You can lead your way through. Quint, what have you and Riveria been doing?
I will have spent some time just generally encouraging Riveria to keep up her newfound confidence, and then cast locate object again to find Kigorim and keep track of where he is.
You can tell that it's almost directly ahead, and Riveria is able to identify that as it means he's probably in the presentation theatre, which is where all of these objects are shown. Because of like various curves, and also to bring folks together, I'm gonna say that as you're following your way around, because it takes you kind of around the back of the bar area and such, like Quintinius and Riveria clash with Sedanus and Rogue in the middle of this area. It's quite busy, and more people are starting to file in that way because the presentations are meant to start soon. He's in the theatre.
So are you.
Oh, you mean I will be? Oh! Sorry, like Chloe, that was Chloe being very slow to be like, there's a scroll in that hand.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we just need to get me in.
Sedanus is going to put her hand on Riveria's shoulder and once again try staring, but this time she's going to use bardic inspiration. But it is going to be staring, and you've got this.
Thanks. Where's Hunk?
He did what he had to do.
He didn't.
Is Hunk dead?
Yeah, he didn't die.
No, he's just waiting outside.
Oh, that sounded really
Leave
different.
with that next time.
Oz?
There's nothing that says someone cannot have more than one inspiration dice, is there?
I didn't think it doubled. I thought it was one at a time.
You can only apply one to a roll.
Oh, okay.
So you can inspire the person twice, but then they can only use one to be sort of...
I think that seems fair, because otherwise, like, if you were able to use more than one in...
Just get like 50 parts together. Yeah, okay, cool.
Riveria is able to point the way. Are you all just heading in that direction?
Now, like, we just do the same thing as we did with the last lot. If there's guards, we just walk on by.
Speaking of guards, because I was rolling for their perception, there is a shout and a commotion from, indeed actually, this is from Australia, who has spotted Riveria, and just says, Stop! Stop! You're not meant to... Stop! And is now running towards you.
What I would like to do is grab Riveria and duck behind whatever crowd there is and cast Disguise Self for myself to be Riveria, then stand up and walk towards them with my hands up.
Okay, can you roll stealth for hiding behind people so that this doesn't get seen?
19.
Oh my god. Okay, so stop! And you come out, Riveria stays like crouched down. It's probably like the reason it's a 19 is because very conveniently at that point a champagne golem was just going past, which is like one of those big kind of pyramids, but it's animated to serve, and it's a very broad, easy thing to hide behind. And so you come out with your hands up, quarterstaff at you.
What did I do?
You know, you're not meant to be in here now. You're coming with me, and starts like kind of
okay.
poking at you with the quarterstaff and heading out to the front door with you. So in like, oh sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna like continue to be how Riveria was at the start of the whole thing, like quite sad and upset.
Sure. In like a few minutes, you'll head out through the front doors when you're getting like pushed out, and so Hunk, whilst he's just like playing on the guitar, Riveria appears.
With you on Riveria's label, there is a little rogue thing.
Yeah, right, buddy.
It's so terribly upsetting.
Okay.
Nice. Back
Back
inside the hall, like once Australia walks off, Riveria kind of stands up again and goes to Sedanus and Quintinius. We should get inside the hall. It's going to be like otherwise he's going to present it before me and they'll still think that I'm just lying.
So I think our plan is we get you as close to the hall as we can, and then from there we make as big a noise as we can, challenge him out loud, and then he has to defend himself. He has to tell the truth.
Okay, let's go. And you start just kind of like power walking. Like there's various people around, but you can use them to try and hide behind. I mean, Quintinius is especially good at this. And as far as the guards are concerned, a fair few of them are like slightly in a false sense of security because Riveria has been taken out of the building. You come to the open doors of the presentation theatre, which think kind of almost like a halfway between a amphitheatre and a cathedral. So it's got like that semicircular seating that's quite grand, but also like vaulted and stained glass windows and such. Like it's very grand. And what you can see from here is the presentations have already started, and most people are there. There is a high plinth where one of the most befringed wizards is currently explaining like what the current spell on display is, and you can see a young femme figure, and he is there on a floating disc that is currently being moved around the area to give everyone a full view, is next to a very boring looking sphere. Really boring looking sphere, but for some reason this is a useful spell in some contexts. And you can see all this, but you can also see like Kigorim in like a little line of people who are presumably all going to go up on the thing about 60 feet away, other side of the space.
How many people in front of Kigorin?
You have a clearish line of sight, but it's because there's loads of like seats and stuff that kind of arc back and up to the right hand side.
Sorry, I meant like how many people before him in the queue to go up on stage?
One.
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like about 5 after him.
Riveria, this might be your moment.
What? How do we make lots of noise and stuff? Is that what we do?
You had a band. I would like to. Ooh, what should I do? So many choices.
How would the bard like to draw attention?
I would like to cast Major Image, because, go big or go home, and cast in 20-foot high letters the words fraud in like flashing neon red and yellow, like fireworks going off around it, and like as if through a loud hailer, a voice going, fraud, fraud, stop.
Wait, is this to the person on stage currently?
This is just I'd like you to just appear in the sky. Ideally, like over Kigorin's head, but it's huge. So.
With an arrow pointing downwards.
Yeah.
Nice one.
The befringed individual on the high plinth stops talking. Can you roll? Are you trying to be stealthy about your casting of this, or are you not trying to hide the fact that you are the one casting this spell?
I think, given I'm standing right next to the person who's about to make her big claim for justice, I'm not trying to be stealthy.
The fringed figure in lots of purple fringe, and kind of a shaven head, they fly down from this high plinth directly towards you. And exactly why are you interrupting this presentation? And then the person who's on the plinth says, I'm showing off my dull sphere. This is meant to be Bud's moment.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Was I a bit too subtle with my presentation? You have a fraud in your midst.
Well, I can see that you've obviously arrived with one. Riveria, it's a great disappointment to see that you forced your way in.
I see how wizards work with their entire prancing about, saying they believe in honesty and rules and the right way to do things and flapping their sleeves around. But you let one man waltz in here and claim that he wrote work completely sided with him. No fair trial, no due process. You are shameful. If you are so keen to believe him, why don't you make him testify under his own of truth?
I'm not one for turning our annual event into a circus. However, if it is the swiftest way to quieten you, I presume you mean Kigorim. Kigorim? And Kigorim kind of shuffles up, and there's now like a big hush. Like, it is the equivalent of everyone being like, ooh. As Kigorim comes over to where you, Alona, Riveria, and Sedanis are. Fine.
Sedanis, never want to, is kind of, much as she downplays things, never want to kind of pass up a dramatic moment. She takes her viol out and she casts Zone of Truth by playing kind of a haunting, twisting little melody, and you see it kind of appear.
Wisdom save?
It's charisma 14.
Charisma save. Well, let's see. That's a 15. How big is this Zone of Truth?
It's 15 feet in spherically.
I presume that the rest of you are willingly failing.
Yes.
Because you will be caught in there. Riveria will be caught in there. Just gonna... Ilona has also failed. Mm-hmm.
Can other people tell if someone has failed,
Yes,
has purposely tried to hide things? Because that would be useful to know.
I'm just gonna double check exactly what you get. I mean, Ilona is also quite powerful. You know whether a creature succeeds or fails on its saving throw. It will still be your word, but Ilona can kind of insight. So you cast, you know that everyone has failed their save apart from Kigorim, who just gives you like a little...
Of course.
I wrote the versatile foot.
He is the only one in this sphere that can lie right now.
Ilona is going to insight you on that. Has never met you before, but rolls I think that's an 18. And can also probably, yep. Kigorin, yeah. It is apparent that you are lying. No, I'm not. This is a Zone of Truth. I wrote the spell, and then Kigorim did loads of stuff to try and convince everyone that it was his spell and that it wasn't mine. Is there any other thing you would like to do to petition for Riveria?
I would like to suggest that Riveria, dear, you wrote your name on the original scroll that Kigorim has stolen, is that correct?
Yes.
If Kigorim is so innocent, then surely he'll be happy to show us the original scroll that will definitely not be in Riveria's handwriting and definitely not have her name at the top.
I don't see why I should show other people, like everyone else gets to present the scroll the way they want to present it. Like, I don't Kigorim, if you don't demonstrate this, which frankly if you were innocent you would surely demonstrate straight away, then we will have to assume that this was in fact not your spell. So Kigorim, I hate this character but I also kind of love him, reaches into his bag, passes this to Ilona. Ilona opens up the scroll, rolls a really bad deck save. Kigorim pegs it out of here.
Can I cast Hold Person? Can I cast Hold Person?
Okay. I mean, that's a 5 on the dice anyway. So basically what you get is this sudden spray of things. So into Ilona's face, and they look furious. So that happens, and just at the same time that happens, Kugrom's like, "Poof!" and tries to run out, but then gets held by held person. Ilona doesn't quite know what to do, but Gil just kind of creeps round the corner and isn't going to charge the head of the guild to do this, but a spectral chamois leather appears on Ilona's face, just goes over the shaved head a little bit, disappears, and Ilona gives a thankful and dignified nod, turns to yourselves and Riveria. Well, it seems that a presentation ought to be made, and in turn, sincere apologies to be given. Riveria? Ilona returns to the stand. Riveria is helped up onto this disc and shows off this huge spectral foot which can kick, it can squidge someone into the ground, and also because it uses your dex mod, if you're like good at picking things up with your feet, you can also still get this foot to like pick things up. It's really versatile. And additionally, others show off their things in turn. Kigorim is taken away, is expelled from this particular guild, and is seen and heard from very few people again. And Sedanus, Quintinius, and Riveria, after Riveria does her presentation, wander out to the front, where presumably Rogue is sitting there with Hunk, as Hunk plays a little tune. And all is well in the world, and that's where we're gonna stop for today.
Okay.
Can we not get to join in with the little tune?
I mean, if you want to have a sing along now, go for it.
Credit paper.
I'm playing the Disintegrate tune. That's
perfect, yes.
Yeah. Like, Gil is going to do so well because he was able to step in and help the head of the guild. Like, let's face it, we're all just... we're background players in Gil's story here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the Apprentices Gala. If you enjoyed tonight, we have, I believe, one more Untold tale next week. This is a series of 6 one-shots. Do check them out. We have our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adventurers Wanted, and we are streaming every Monday evening, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. BST on twitch.tv/Adventurers Wanted and twitch.tv/D&D. So it's another one-shot next week, and then we've got cool new stuff happening. A big thanks to Ultra Pro and D&D Beyond, who sponsor everything we do. We could not do this without them. And if you head over to our YouTube channel, there's also all our past campaigns. You've got different types of adventures on there. Some of it's D&D, some of it's other RPGs. And if you want to support us in different ways, you can spread the word on social media. We're at Adventurers250 on Twitter, and we are Adventurers Wanted pretty much everywhere else, Instagram, Facebook, etc. And you can also become a supporter on Patreon, patreon.com/Adventurers Wanted, where you get things like this as playable modules. You get blog posts about running and writing and role-playing in games and all sorts of different things. Thank you again, and thank you to these wonderful 4 players, and have a lovely night. We will see you soon. Bye!